Futures holding on to very slight gains to start things off here so far this morning as we get going into a holiday long weekend coming on the back of 3 straight days to the upside. We'll see, limited volume, limited trading overall heading into the weekend here this morning. But what a week it's been after a significant pullback that we saw over the past couple of weeks. Nasdaq 2.5% going into today to the downside on the month, with just today left to make that back. Probably not going to happen. It could, but probably not going to happen. So first negative month potentially here for the Nasdaq in 7. It's been that kind of a run here for tech overall. But what a market this has been going into the final trading month of the year. And I'm so happy because Sharif is back beside me. I know it's
we have
extra elbow room here.
Yeah. Well, we got another desk here for our guests. Looks fantastic. The set looks fantastic.
Great,
you guys absolutely killed it. Good morning, guys. There is a whole lot to talk about, even on this shortened day. Let's start off with the main headline. The CME Futures Exchange is down, and it has been down for quite some time. Looks like the major cooling issue by Cyrus 1 data centers halted early trading at around 6:45, Brendo. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these ETFs for some futures actions there, but we'll keep an eye on that. A couple of headlines to discuss. Alibaba looking at getting into the consumer AI glasses business to take on Meta and their Ray-Ban glasses, as well as crypto finally bouncing into the $90,000 area. We'll have to see if it can reach 100,000 by next week. And Google, Brendo, withdrawing their Azure complaint out in Europe. So Microsoft getting a bit of a boost.
Yeah, it's one of those days where, we have no futures, so I think it'll be fine. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be, as we said, very light volume anyways and limited activity on the equity side of things. I can't remember. I mean, there was a lot of times during COVID where everything was halted on the equity side, a few times intraday. But I can't remember the last time we were sitting here and had no actual futures to look at and deal with. And
I got you there, Brendo.
Oh, you do have the actual,
I got you. Okay, 2014. Apparently there was a Globex technical failure disrupted by an agricultural futures trading. And then in 2023, there was a Swiss exchange, but there wasn't anything at the CME.
Yeah, so, I mean, we'll see how that affects things going into today. But, I mean, more importantly, how was your vacation?
It was fantastic. Too short, only 3 days in Kabul. My sister made me spend time with her. LA is no good.
Paid you.
Yeah, well, Thanksgiving, I kind of got my arm twisted there, Brendo, but not enough time in the sun. We went whale watching, did a little fishing. It was cool. It was nice.
Good weather?
Yeah, great weather. 27, 28.
Good, fantastic. Good to have you back. Market looking okay here, but as we said, I mean, expect things to be lighter than usual going into the holiday weekend. Neil, with the day off today, reviving himself from football, I guess? I don't know. Obi's in. Good morning, guys.
Reviving himself. Reviving himself from football. Yeah, no, he...
I hate it when my sister keeps me on.
Yeah, I missed that story. I was asking you about that story there. I missed it. But yeah, no, it's good to have Sharif back. We do have Adara off today, so we're going to have actually someone new doing
All right.
Exciting. So we get ready for that one as soon as the market opens at 9:30. We're going to have... Well, her name was Sia. She's going to be joining us. That should be a lot of fun there. So get ready for that. New fresh blood coming in. Oh, no, she's already...
I'm sure she'll
told me today she's super nervous.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Shouldn't have told me that.
Hey, man, I was pretty nervous my first time as well. It's
no, she's going to be absolutely great, fantastic. So we hope, exactly. We hope Adara get well soon, and Adara's off today, as is Neil. So we'll OBI, Sharif, Joe's here. So we're excited for all of this. The whole party's here. It should be a lot of fun. And as we expand the show, Bitcoin 91.5 is pretty good. Yeah. We went out there yesterday. Oh, I should show some pictures. I'll get some from my wife. Yeah, we went and got our new Christmas tree.
Nice.
We went and chop it down, and got a good one. They also had, it's like the maple syrup, like Hall of Fame. Elliott tree.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice,
it's like they have all of that old equipment that they use to make maple syrup. So we got this big maple syrup jug, and then have you ever had the maple syrup little candies that they make?
Yeah, of course, like with the snow.
Yeah, exactly, with all of that. So that was a lot of fun. So we did a whole bunch of that kind of
stuff. Nice, that's awesome.
Yeah. The kids absolutely loved it, and we had a great time. Just spending it, with family, and then you let the tree drop, and then today we'll start to decorate.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So people are coming back from their Thanksgiving dinners, and hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. You got to watch out for that tree, man. You sent me a picture of the cat. Like, yeah, with Christmas trees and cats, it's a little bit of a
She's been fine with it so far, but there's no.
And once the ornaments get up there,
right. There's no ornaments up there, so once that gets up there, there'll be a problem jumping around. But no, exciting times in the Katina household for sure. So I know you're a cat guy.
I know. So that's a guy or girl?
Girl.
Oh yeah, she is very beautiful.
Yeah, she's gonna be something else. Now that just adds another woman to my life, unfortunately. Keeps on. Now the wife's the boss, the daughter's the boss, my dog is definitely the boss, and now this thing, dude, just keeps on going. But yeah, okay. Look, it's interesting. It's funny that Sharif grabbed that stat because I was going to say I can't remember the last time that we had like a major outage that basically is not going to get resolved. Yeah. So we're just trading the Qs or tracking the Qs. So instead of the NQ, if you're looking at the ES, the ES minis, anything that's traded over there in the CME, I'm just calling up the Qs. So there was dark pool dumps at 8. We can't avoid those, but we'll watch the Nasdaq here with the Qs, TQs. All the ETFs should be working as far as I know, and they'll just have to be tracked that way. And the ES with the SPY today as well. So those would be some things tracked. Yeah, look, it's gonna be interesting to see the Nasdaq, see if we can get to green or not. I don't know. Oracle is starting to be a problem maybe today underneath $200 again. So I have that on the list, down now 2.6% as the name that we want to short. So it should be a good one at some point here today, Oracle on the short side. And then, where's the weed names?
Oh yeah, there it is.
I'm still hearing somebody in there's some mic that's still live that I still get some kind of background in the ear, Andre, a little different. Tilray today was 1 to 10, right? They've announced, so we'll get that exact date there. I think Adara and Sharif, everyone was working on this list. Gapping down after announcing a 1 for 10 reverse stock split effective December the 1st. So this will go back up to $9 as of these prices. So I think Tilray could be on watch here today for potential move higher. We all do know that when the stock does eventually split, it just comes tumbling back down. But they do have a couple good days after the split as everybody sort of regroups and you get the nice volume and liquidity back into the Tilray. Yeah, it should be a fun one there. I hope everyone's wide awake and turkey has that effect on many people.
Yeah.
Are you a white meat, dark meat?
White meat. I'd say white meat.
It's gotta have the gravy though.
Yeah, of course. 100%.
The homemade gravy is.
We were talking about that, like the
cornbread too. If you've get the double shot of here, maybe.
The cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce, yeah. The wife prefers not the homemade stuff, the cranberry.
The one in the can.
And it has to be like taken. It's just a fun joke for us. It basically has to be in the form of the can. Okay, so basically, like you open up the ocean spray and you plop it basically down in the bowl or on the plate, and it just is. You even see those ridges and everything like that. It's so bad, but she loves the cranberry sauce, so that's kind of like our thing. So if there's anything that's not homemade, and it's too bad because homemade cranberry is amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
But if there's anything that's not homemade on Thanksgiving, it is the cranberry sauce. So, anyways, all right. That's that. Did you do anything? Did you do anything exciting yesterday?
I came into the office yesterday, so I was just working on some stuff.
Oh, okay.
No, I definitely got some work done. I did some. I started on my monthly review, so that's going well. Some strategy formation with a couple other
looking at other markets because
other markets.
The U.S. was the only market that was closed yesterday, right? The United States markets.
Dude, honestly, what I'm realizing is just like it's such a blessing to be at a firm where I can literally day trade the world.
Right.
Like any market, I can just.
That should be the name of a company at some point.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great name because if you're able to trade the world, you have like the level of market access is an absolute blessing.
Yes.
Like something's going on, I don't know.
It's like real trading. You can do real trading.
Yeah, it's really trading.
Yeah, it's like real trading.
Open access.
Yes.
Yes. It's like open access.
Check out realtrading.com by the way to figure out where we're trading at these days.
Dude,
all right.
Like, I was looking.
Look, man, handsome Joe is here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm liking the new cut, man. I'm liking the new cut, the mustache on point and everything. Let's go.
You spoiled it already. I was trying
to. He's joined the mustache gang. I mean,
we'll have Joe coming through with upgrades and downgrades.
We mustache him some questions.
Options. You got some questions for Joe?
I said I mustache him.
Oh, you mustache him some questions. Oh, man, what is happening here? All right, Oracle, Nvidia, and give me another name that's on your mind today.
I don't know, man. Probably Apple. We'll see what Apple's doing. It's been kind of winding up for those highs. I don't know if it's going to get there today on a half day, but I'm just going to be patient. We got Oracle and Tilray, like you said. Those are my top names as well. I'll be watching those. But in terms of market moves, I don't know. Like, it's interesting. I was just saying, there's so many. Like, sure, there's no economic numbers here in North America, but around the world, there's a lot of things going on. And if you're telling me that the CME is down, that's pretty interesting. I'm just going to be patient. I want to learn from this experience. We'll see what the markets do. We'll see how they react. My futures are frozen right now, so probably going to be using Qs and spots.
Hold on, no, not right now. Futures are frozen all day.
No, I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'll be using.
I see Adara in the chat. Hi, Adara.
What's going on, Adara?
Hope you're doing well. She's talking about Sydney Sweeney over there in the chat. Don't get my guy Sharif is just back. Like, let's not get too excited over here. We're getting too excited over here. Sydney Sweeney infographic coming up soon. AEO, ANF. Well, you were here on Friday. Obviously, you're all last week feeling. Yeah, I said Friday. Like, today does not feel. Yeah, I was saying that yesterday. Didn't yesterday feel like a Saturday or a Friday, or Wednesday felt like a Friday for sure?
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. Anyways,
these days are so.
What time does the market close today?
1.
Tell them, Obi.
1
p.m. Everybody.
I think the after hours goes till like 4.
We do have a fun little Family Feud thing. If I don't know. Fabian's not here. He was going to run it. I'm sure
he's been working on that for a while. I think he's definitely got something down now.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun stuff hopefully happening in the 12 to 1 o'clock hour, 12:30-ish or so for that. So, all right, guys, let's go back over the desk. But it's great to have Obi here, Neil on the day off, Adair's in the chat there. Sia's coming to everybody very, very soon around 9:30. Joe's here. We're ready to rock and roll, and we're glad you guys are too. Tell all your friends. It's 8 o'clock now.
Tell your friends about me.
Wake up, America. We're live. Half hour earlier.
Okay.
All right. Let's go back over the desk.
I'm awake.
Attempting to wake up at this point, so come and join us. Breaking news here, guys. This is from CNBC, just posted on their website anyway. So stock futures will be back at 8:30 Eastern after a major disruption due to data center problems. So it looked like the last post I saw was around 7:15. They said a few things were slowly starting to come back online. So again, looks like stock futures back up and as they were as of 8:30 Eastern. So about 20 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so to go before we get to that. As far as individual names to deal with this morning, I mean, the China conversation continues here. We had some earnings. We had some AI-related headlines coming out of China over the past couple of weeks. I mean, overall, it's been a pretty good couple of days or a week or so for all of the ADRs as a group. But, I mean, still lagging this overall tech movement.
Yeah, Brendo, there's a couple of different headlines specific to Chinese ADRs. Today, Baba, as I mentioned at the top there, has got that consumer push with the AI glasses trying to take on Meta. New smart glasses there. They're going to be called the Quirk AI glasses. Interesting name. A little bit not really creative. Anyway, they're going to be about $536, about 3,800 yuan for the S1. There's a G1, a cheaper variant, which is going to be about 1,900. There's also a Baidu headline. They're laying people off, sadly, and that never is a good sign for the company. It looks like they're looking for reductions expected through the end of the month, Brendo, as a major cost-cutting initiative. They said teams could see as high as 40% layoffs within specific teams. We'll have to see exactly how they do. They employ about 3,600 people worldwide. So a couple of different headlines.
Just for some perspective here, let's go really, really long-term. Shout out to Michael Noss, who, by the way, is at a cottage today, apparently. He just messaged me and said he had no idea the market was even open today.
Oh.
And apologized.
That's nice. How's the weather in Eastern Canada? Is not too bad right now.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But he'll be back on Monday. So shout out to Michael Noss enjoying a day off, deservedly. Here's Alibaba. We're just going to update the background here, guys. Just bear with us. Monthly chart. Shout out to Michael Noss of Alibaba. They all kind of look like this. And just as for some down here, Andre, down here.
Oh, I think he's having trouble.
He's waving at me. Anyway. Okay, no problem. Yeah. Alibaba is red on the month, as is the overall market. As I said when we came on, guys, we had 2.5% to the downside, potentially going to snap a 7-month winning streak here for the Nasdaq specifically, unless something crazy happens today, which I doubt will.
Yeah, hopefully we'll find out exactly how the futures look at 8:30, Brendan, whether we're trending up. But look, November is historically not a great month as people look to sell into December. We typically have a rally in December for the Santa Claus rally, but it's been a different year. We had that huge pullback in April. You feel maybe the market corrected a little bit too much there, so we may not get that same seasonality that we get every year. We'll have to see if we even get a strong December. Looks like we bought the dip here quite aggressively, Brenda, since I was gone. So
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, yes, absolutely. A lot of people stepped in to pick up some individual names that were depressed after this sell-off. But if you had to sit here and say it's been 7 months in a row straight to the upside, I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel like that big of a rally to me, anyway. But here we go, guys. 2.5% right now, potentially going to snap this rally.
Yeah, I mean, it's a break of the trend, I think, as if you're going to go 7 months in a row here. But I was just looking, actually, I had Alibaba up, but here's the Nasdaq as well. We'll just chart the Qs right here just real quickly. This is just a daily chart. So you can see we are obviously getting a little bit of a pullback. If you take into consideration what Brendan was just talking about with the monthly chart on here, I mean, this is pretty impressive, right? Obviously, if you can guess, we go all the way back here to the month of February, where we had a pretty decent down day. And you would have thought April could have possibly been as well, but then that rebounded and only had a bad couple of days, and then boom, right back there to the upside. And there it goes. So the trend is still quite clear, man. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting a little bit bearish, potentially off of a candle like this, but earnings were really great. I mean, it was something like 83% of the S&P 500 came out and beat earnings. Obviously, we're not going to get into earnings season again until January. But with the Fed resuming rate cut cycles, which right now it's what, 91% or something on the CME Fed rate tool that we eventually cut back here. It's just loading up. Oh, that might not be working either, the Fed rate. Oh, that's a CME group, right? But that's going to lead us, hopefully, if we can correct even to 600, like the cover up last month would be something, and then you can sort of buy some of those dips. We already been below 600 here this month and closing somewhat near the all-time highs again. So as long as we have a decent day today, I don't really think there's anything to be too worried about. We're obviously not going to be getting back up to here, as Brendan said, 634. I don't think that's obvious, actually. We could make a huge move. I don't think we'll cover it up. But, for that to be a negative aspect of what we're talking about, I think we're okay there on the Nasdaq, and the same thing should be true for the S&P 500 as well, going red this month. But IWM, I think, could be a place maybe to look as rates focus, rate cut focus gets back into play here. So the Russell 2000 had a nice, huge bound back there. And it's actually, that's in threat of going positive for the month there, the IWM. So it doesn't always have to be all NASDAQ all the time, right? I mean, it's just those 7 names are such like a huge draw on the NASDAQ and on ES that sometimes we get lost in the other 493. Right? Gold's been having a decent month here. Obviously, we know Bitcoin hasn't, but that's a nice bounce back for BTC as well. The dollar strength continues a little bit. We saw the DXY trying to push near $100 as well. So, some good things happening in the marketplace. Oil, I can't really call up. Well, actually, oil's in NYMEX, right? So we can call up oil. CLZ right here. At least we can have a look to see what it's doing over in the NYMEX. No, maybe I'm not even getting a quote for that either. But oil's been okay, on the month, if anything, trying to rebound a little bit. And we don't mind low prices, in crude around here anyways, as we look for manufacturing to get back to the upside and China get back on the drip there for oil. So, yeah, I think it's, I don't know, does it feel like a horrible month, Obi? I don't.
Nothing crazy, man.
I don't feel, I feel like the volatility was enough to give traders like you and I and everybody out there that's day trading a couple aneurysms or nightmares throughout the month, especially intraday when you're sliding. When you see a stock like Nvidia pulling back this dramatically off of their earnings play and still pretty much holding some of these levels, obviously you're going to get violent intraday swings. I mean, look at a stock like Meta, right, trying to find its footsteps here, and I feel like Meta has done that, and they made that bottom of 580. Like, that's pretty scary, right, to be sitting in there and watching it kind of get down all day. But Sharif and I actually talked a little bit there, and part of the strategy is setting it and forgetting it. Like, you put in your orders to buy things, and the thing is that, this is what I said to Sharif, when things go bad, there'll always be reasons to pull your bids, right? It's like if I said to you, okay, Oracle's gonna be down 45% in a month and a half. Most would say, okay, that's a buy. Like, if not, at least buying a little bit. Like, you would say, okay, 10%. Like, if I said to you, all right, like when Google was down at 160 or 150, everyone's like, oh my God, their search is a problem, this and this. But the fact that it's come from 180 down to 150, 160, if it's a stock that you think you like long term, sometimes you have to push the noise aside. Like, all the noise that you're hearing, the intra-week or the intra-day sort of buzz about a stock, and you have to really think, okay, what's my time frame? Where do I actually think this market is going? And do I like the stock at these levels? Because Oracle's down 45% for reasons. So you're always going to find a reason not to pull the trigger. You know, I still have Meta on here, but Meta's a good example. Like, we like the stock. If you're going to worry too much about their spend, then yeah, who knows where the bottom is going to be. But at some point, you got to say, and we were saying this the whole time, if Meta comes to 600, maybe it's a buy. But I didn't buy any, because you know what? When it's coming down here, like, oh my God, it's going lower. Oh yeah, 580. And then in 2 days, it's right back over that 600. And now you're wondering, hey, do I buy 630 or not? Because you've had 4 good days. You know, so now all of a sudden I'm being influenced by 4 good days, thinking I want to buy it. So how come on 4 bad days, I don't think about buying it either, you know? So that's just the market psychology. And I think you got to sometimes set it and forget it on decent names. And as long as the story remains the same in the long term, sometimes you got to stick your head out and buy it like a Robinhood.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you make there, because it's like when things are very fearful, things are dropping like crazy, and that reminds me a little bit of what happened intraday on that BABA. On Friday. On Wednesday. Friday. Yeah, I'm like, wait, which day was that? I know it was 2 days ago. On Wednesday, right? And I was here for this. I kind of got rocked because I started getting long on. Sorry, I started getting short on the right side here. But here's the thing. I really thought about this trade. I was like, why did I start to get long? Because I instantly heard the news. And instantly, because I heard the news, I had a preformed bias that this should go, that's such bad news, this should go down. But here's the thing. Imagine I didn't hear that news. And I see this, and I'm like, I'll look at that and I'm like, yo, that's mispriced on the day. That's a discount on the day. It makes no sense. Like, sure, we have bad news, but if I don't know what the news is and someone comes in and slams the bid, I'm going to do my job and try to balance this because this is mispricing. But because I was so biased by the news, I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm doing things that clearly the tape is not showing.
Those are those intraday headaches I was talking about.
It's like, it goes back. It's like, if you know that Meta is good, if you know that BABA is relatively okay, and there's like there's some sort of speculative things that are going on about them, you know, selling data to the government or whatever. But regardless, in the moment, that pricing makes no sense. That trade.
I had a stop order at 158, thank God, because that went down to 150. And to your point, if you call up the daily on that Alibaba, like that 150 is a great level. You know, for that. So here we go. Like, check that out. This is what I mean. Boom. If you just have a bid there, Obi, at 150, right? Look at that. You have a bid somewhere around there. You catch the long on nothing that you've done except for sitting there with a bid. You know, sometimes you got to do that. And
look at that.
Anyways, we are hearing the CME market is remaining halted for now, as Brendan had brought us news that hopefully around 8:30 or 8:55 or so, we'll get that update for you. My daughter today is, again, like yesterday, we pull her out of school because we go and do the a tree. So we went and pulled her out. And today, she's at a Toronto Scepters camp. So Toronto Scepters is the professional women's, if you come over to the screen here, it doesn't matter, just real quick. This is the Toronto Scepters, so this is my daughter here. She's at a Scepters camp, and look, they have her name here on the, I just saw this now.
Ooh, nice.
So, hey, man, I pay for all of this anyways. It's not like, but this is part of it. So there it is, man. You know, locker with her name. That's so exciting for her. So she gets to do a half day at a professional women's hockey. So we're season ticket holders. The season opens tomorrow at home. And I think my daughter's actually in the intro video. I don't even know how that happened, but there it is, 87% chance, this finally updated, that we do get that cut on December the 10th. So 87% chance right there for a cut come December the 10th. So I think that helps ease some of the pain of people that potentially are long and worrying about this red month. You know, if you're dollar cost averaging, all you did was dollar cost average this month. That was a good opportunity to do that as well. So
great discounts this month, I think.
Yep.
And you're talking about the volatility. Like, yeah, we had so much opportunity this month, I think, and like just looking at the VIX, like how we had that run up and then kind of a little bit of a crush. Right there, it was just back into these areas. But yeah, I think it was a great opportunity for intraday traders for sure. Especially like for me, I can speak for myself. I was just like, there's a lot of intraday price action scalps that's happening because, like you said, yeah, it's catching a lot of people off guard at times. And I found that if I was just sitting on my hands this month and I'm seeing people getting caught off guard, yeah, I can get involved in some of those opportunities as well. But yeah, the VIX was absolutely solid this month. Hopefully, we get some more volatility. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I'm just like, yeah, coming into the beginning of the week, beginning of the year, yep, right, next year as well. We talk about kind of higher time frame stuff. Just take a look at this. How is the 12-month? Because like at the beginning of the year, we had that 17% pullback. We ran up for a decent chunk. We had that April bid, yep, the presidential seal, where he was like, "Hey guys, buy," and that was probably one of the best times to buy this year. And then we come up into fresh highs going into the end of the year, but now we've got a little bit of a relief. So what does that look like on the yearly? Right, that sounds like a doji. That's a doji candle.
You're explaining, right? A perfect doji candle, Obi.
So it's just like, okay, cool. So we've made the bottom wick. The question becomes, do we blast off into the next month?
That's a one-year chart?
This is, each candle represents 12 months.
Okay.
So right here, dude, I was like, yo, we are squeezing. In 23, I was like, we are squeezing. In 23. Like everything else is just noise. I don't care. Like everything else is just noise. We are cracking. Anybody and everybody who thought that COVID was the end-all, be-all, these are the top of the markets, we're finally going to come back into relief areas from 15s, 08s, or whatever, you know what I mean? All of those theses get blasted to the upside through 500 on the SPY. And take a look at this bottom wick. We pull back in. This is kind of very similar to that Baba wick, where you come down into an area of interest right here, and then you slap it right back up through 600. Now we're pushing fresh highs once again. So the question becomes, if this is the 12-month chart, how many of the next years are we going to see bullish? I don't see any reason to sell. If you saw this, and I didn't tell you that this was a 12-month chart, are you taking this breakout? That's the question, right? Are we playing this momentum? Because this is a multi-year momentum
over there.
Right? So this is what our markets are looking like right now. So all this craziness in between, yeah, we get 10% drops, 20% drops. Guess what? In the bigger picture, it's all just noise.
Doesn't it just tell us that we should just be long forever long? I mean, thing is like to try to pick the tops and bottoms of some of these markets is crazy. But hey, Obi, that's what we get paid to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of noise in between these candles, and that's why sometimes it does. I mean, zooming out to 12-month chart is interesting take, and you know, it does just solidify the fact that as long as you're in the market, there's a saying that it's not something about time in the market. Is what you need, right? It's not the amount of money in the market, it's the time in the market. So
time.
It's not timing the market, it's the time in the market. So I think as long as you're got the right, now will there be an AI top? Will there be a blowout bottom potentially like we did see in COVID or on April where, you know, we did have some of these tariff tantrums? I mean, I think that's kind of what it is. The market will go up and down based on hopefully small, minute issues like we had the Ukraine-Russia. We had oil spurts back and forth. You know, here we go. Futures are going to be try to open right here at 8:30. So once they open up, we'll tell you that open and everything to go. So double check all your charts, apparently opening up in 10 seconds. But in less than 10 seconds, let's try right now. We do have Joe with the options look today. So let's throw it over to Joe and see what stocks maybe are on his mind here this morning.
All right, guys, good morning and happy Friday. Let's get into some of this activity. We're going to start off with some of the call option activity from Wednesday, yesterday being a holiday, guys. So at the top of the list, we have BYND, Beyond Meat, at that $1.50 strike price. We're sitting around 21,000, open contract with volume around 14,600, and that's going to be expiring December 19th. I talked about the activity at that specific expiration cycle multiple times throughout the week. So we'll keep an eye out on this. We've seen in the likes of Google and a couple of other names, Robinhood as well too, guys. So second on the list here, we have Coinbase, Crypto getting a little bit of a pop on Wednesday's session with open interest at that $267.50 strike price. That is going to be expiring today. Open interest sitting around 10,800 contracts, and relatively the same here from a volume standpoint, 10,400 contracts. And Alibaba also moving on Wednesday as well too. Catalyst coming in with that name. So the open interest in the option activity substantially grew. We're sitting around 20,200 contracts still currently open with volume around 13,700. And that is going to be expiring today at that $160 strike price. Now, as for the call of the day, we know Robinhood moving substantially higher here, guys, $145. There was a bunch of activity, 23,900 contracts on the December 19th expiration cycle. Once again, we're falling into that expiration cycle. Volume 2,950. And then you can see that the bid and the ask isn't horrible. I mean, it's still $8 or so, but we've seen it on the SPY and the Qs. It was roughly around $13, which is pretty large for a liquid asset. So Delta sitting around 251, relatively light. And then the Gamma, little exposure there. At the money IV, slight increase there, guys, at 64%.
Much. No, I was just saying that no, on a day like today, I think we should be maybe looking at some volume scanners because, like, yeah, we were looking at Oracle. Oracle's not doing much volume, even though it had a move. We're looking at, Google or like Amazon. Google is already doing like only just 100K. So a lackluster volume in the pre-market session. Maybe a reasoning could be because the CME was closed. People don't want to put on anything without any futures, right? That could also be a reason as well. Got some data coming in here now for the Nasdaq, so that's good. I don't see anything for the ES just yet. But until then, I'm going to be doing some volume scans here and just taking a look at what's actually kind of moving around here. And a lot of these smaller caps, right here. What is this? Heartbeam Beat. So this is doing some volume in the pre-market, but this is a sub-dollar stock. I could be interested in something like this today. What about BMNU? This sounds like a little bit of an ETF. Yeah, BMNR, long BMNR on the CBOE, doing some volume as well. Nothing too crazy in terms of a move. And SMX, that was an interesting one. Yeah. That was, totally forgot about this one. Hello, this is why we do scans. So we, just in case we forgot about anything crazy going on and that turkey hit us a little bit too hard, we can kind of re-jog the memory and kind of bring that back. So SMX with the crazy moves there. There was something else. I think it was the Oracle that got rocked on that. But yeah, SMX. Good look on that one. We got IBIT here, MSTX, BMNR. We just saw that one as well. YGMZ. I'm sure Sharif recognized some of these names for sure because I'm seeing a lot of these small caps doing some relative volume today. ADTX here as well. Okay, we'll keep an eye on these. We'll see if they're doing anything too crazy. Yeah, I've been talking to Sharif for a while now. I'm just like, yeah, I got to start hitting the playbook on some of these small caps. Again, and if the large caps are not doing too much volume, guess where I'm going to be going? Anything that's moving, I'm definitely a little bit interested in on a day like today where, we're not expecting too much volume to come in the market. Early close as well, 1 o'clock, don't forget. So just make sure you have your positions sorted out, especially like us, if you need to be flat before market close. But early close on market today. Futures are up, nothing too crazy right here. It still seems kind of laggy. No, it's kind of trading there. 360s I have here at the Nasdaq. ES, still not getting any data on the ES, man. So maybe
just the Nasdaq.
They're saying that some computer issues, some cooling issues today. Is that what you were saying they were having? Or
yeah, I think that was
really
the server side there. Everything blew up there. I think they're just bringing things back slowly. I'm going to keep on the Qs and I'm going to keep on the SPY. I'm not going to switch it over until it gets a little bit more data points in there and we start to figure out exactly what we want to do. Okay, I just put in here, I mean, Joe just gave some looks there on some different stocks, and here we go. So I said it right, after a day of Thanksgiving here, hope everyone had a great one. And the question remains, what are we trading today? So Fisher Fisherman says Tesla 430 there. Sebastian, we have selling back. This is the CME here. Poor Sebastian spilt his beer all over the CME server, so that's not good. Market Junkie saying Nvidia, MSTR, Mara. So to your point, I'm adding Bitcoin on here as well. Marvell short, so that would be a play maybe in here as well. I like this one. What's up, Swanee here? Long leftovers, short Nvidia. So I don't know if you're long on some leftovers with Beyond Meat or not, but there's Beyond Meat and FSLR from White Rabbit as well. So if you have anything funny or maybe wrong answers only, but put it in there into the chat. I just put it in. Join us. Make sure you do become part. Oh, I don't have the stream deck on, but I was going to say, if you want to be part of our chat, we have a great chat. Obi and I will be, addressing that, looking for questions in there, seeing some suggestions, anything you guys have trading wise or comments or fun stuff. We normally have polls in there as well, but you just got to make sure that you do hit it, because right now the subscribers, if you haven't hit subscribe, 78% of you have, so we want to say thank you for that one. But the other 22%, make sure you get in there ASAP and hit. First of all, hit the like, then hit the subscribe, or do it either way is fine by us, whatever one you want to hit. But make sure you do hit both of those right there on YouTube. Click the like and the subscribe. Yeah, looks like Bitcoin right now is starting to go back up, holding that 91,000. So lots happening here today, man, like crazy. So there's IBIT right now up that 2% and starting to go here in this shortened day. If you're joining us here, we are live every day now at 8 a.m. And today we are done at 1. So that should be fun. We have a different, I just got to read the programming here. We're going to 10 o'clock, you and I.
Okay.
Then the other guys are 10, I just saw this now. Then the other guys are 10 to 12.
Okay.
So, and then 12 to 1 is, we're all back. So that should be a lot of fun. But, okay, let's go back over the desk.
Sharif just understood that as well.
I had no idea it was a half day, Brendan.
All good, all good. Yeah, no, we had, for some housekeeping, as Sean was just saying, so we'll do 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and then 12 to 1. To wrap things up on a Thanksgiving weekend, we did get some data there at 8:30. We can just recap because it was better than expected. We sat here a month ago, I guess it was, going back to the last time we got Canadian GDP, and it was a negative print, if you remember. It was negative 1.6% the last time around, and we were wondering, okay, here comes 2 in a row, which technically is the big R word. Not the case.
Good.
Not the case. 2.1%.
Whoa.
On an annualized basis out of nowhere. Yeah, it was negative 1.6%. The last time we got this reading, we get a fat 2% growth this time around, so no recession for us.
No, and obviously the Prime Minister was doing his world tour trying to kind of elicit investment. Very similar to Donald Trump, Brendo, but a lot smaller quantum, 70 billion rather than 700 billion. Yeah. Always the multiple of 10 with Canada. Yeah, so he was in the United Arab Emirates. He also went to South Africa to sort of try to elicit investments. We'll see if a lot of those countries want to invest in the critical minerals. That's exactly where he's focusing now. Also, Brendo, as our viewers may know, the pipeline between Alberta and the British Columbia coast now a real possibility. So we'll have to see how that has an effect on the economy. Look, Brendo, I mean, that province has sort of been limited in how much it can grow for the last 10 years.
Both directions.
Both directions. I wanted to see if when you lift that cap, where it goes.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. A lot of people talking about that this morning as well. Bit of a surprise that they got that done. So, yeah, good to see. A couple other things moving around here. There was a note on Adobe. Consumers expected to spend $14.2 billion, which is up 6.3% on Cyber Monday. So again, that's just a note from Adobe specifically. Across the board, consumers expected to spend $14.2 billion this year around. That's up 6.3% on Cyber Monday. That's not even Black Friday. Just Cyber Monday. So they obviously do a lot of processing for that. They have a lot of monthly subscriptions that come into that category as well. Adobe, as you can see on the chart there, not doing anything whatsoever. So, I mean, positive for them.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be positive because the chart doesn't look all that good, Brendo. If we can look at here at the daily chart from the highs that we put in not long ago, guys. Early last year, we were over $600. It has been a series of lower lows and lower highs, unabated. But we saw, Brendo, them trying to acquire their way into growth. They made an acquisition a couple of weeks ago, forgetting the name of the company that they acquired, but I'll get that back to you guys. Obviously, they are being really pressed here by competitors like Figma, who are putting these things out for free. Didn't Figma put out an Adobe competitor product for free in perpetuity. So, I mean, that kind of hurts your margins, it hurts your moat.
Figma's good. I mean, we were using it on the Academy actually to put some of that project together, but it's a little bit different. It's more project management, I think, and have the ability to have your entire team have access to digital products that you're making, but a little bit different. But there is still definitely a cost to that. I did see the Black Friday number that they posted here as well. Here, I'll throw it up for everyone. So there it is. Expects consumers will spend a record $11.7 billion online for Black Friday, up 8.3%. And then here, I'll grab the other one for you as well. There's the Cyber Monday number, $14.2 billion. That's 6.3% higher, guys, for the consumer this year around.
I mean, I think the consumer is probably in a good spot. We've seen a couple good reads come through lately on consumer numbers. And then we've seen a great retail run as of late. We talked about AEO, ANF. I mean, I don't know, just some of those names. And here's Abercrombie right here, ANF, and some of those moves that they've been going on. AEO last week, huge move. Look, I mean, this is just on earnings. Bam. Right there to the upside like crazy, right? I mean, even a stock that's getting off the canvas a little bit here, part of my Canva plug there, but Canva is obviously affecting that Adobe stock, as is Figma. They tried to buy Figma, and that didn't go through, but maybe
did?
Adobe did.
Adobe
before they went public.
Oh, right.
They actually had an offer out for them much higher than what they even came public for, so probably a good thing that didn't happen. But looks like Lulu right now trying to break out as well. Walmart continues to be, king of the castle. All these good reports. Walmart had a good report. Target didn't really, but it's trying to get back up there to the upside. Home Depot, has been going up for the last couple days anyways. They didn't come with a good report. I think you got to buy some of the dips in the retail space, right? We saw XRT as far as a long-term retail ETF right there. So we like XRT coming through as well. So you can pick winners and losers in this space, but I feel like it's kind of like TJX. It's like these, I don't want to say discount retailers, but we have stores here like Marshalls and Winners and things like that. But look at TJX continues to work out as well, as that's breaking out in all-time highs for TJX. We just talked about Urban Outfitters, which is URBN, I believe. Yes, there it is right there. They had a great number last week as well as they bounced through. Yep, there it is. So, another big move for them coming through for Urban. So I feel that number that Brendan just read there, increase in potential Black Friday spend, why not? It seems like that has been sort of carrying the day here. And a lot of people will talk about Amazon and things like that. I mean, Amazon will do probably the most, size-wise there if you're looking notionally. But they don't go with the flow as far as retail is concerned. I mean, I think if retail ever gets hit, Amazon will also, but they're so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
When you're talking about AWS and everything that they're working on. We heard last week that they had a drone that flew into a cable there, an internet cable or a power cord that went out and somewhere in the United States, so they're being investigated for that. But at the end of the day, I think that's a positive story. Yeah. They've got these drones flying everywhere. That's better for costs for them, hopefully more efficient for delivery times and whatnot. And, if that can be taken as a positive, I think you can spin anything either way you want. Negative, that obviously it's doing damage and maybe they have more work to do and they don't want to be taking out too many power lines. At the end of the day, they're trying something, and I like Amazon in this space, but why not just stick with the big winner right now?
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Average up. I averaged up in Apple, and that's been working out. I averaged up in Alibaba, and right here, Walmart, I think, is one of those plays where it might be an average up, breaking through this 110. So what average up means is, like, no matter where you're long, get longer. If you like the retail space, you don't always have to try to pick the ones that have been so beat up, right? Like the Lululemon and the Target. I'm in Target for hopefully, like I was saying, just to see if we can get something outsized, like an outsized move back to the upside because it's just so beat up down here. But as far as an investment and the proper place to put your money, I think Walmart continues to work there. So thanks, Brendan. I think that's a good look there for retail today. And nice to see that the U.S. consumer remains pretty strong. I think it's a little different story here in Canada, but most of these companies that we'll be trading on here are going to be U.S.-based retail names. So.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to retail, you make a great point about Amazon. Like they've got their arms and legs in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
So it's one of those companies that kind of I wouldn't say too big to fail, but definitely they'd have to be they'd have to get hit on a lot of fronts to really kind of get taken down. So Amazon, not as much, but yeah, I like that you pointed out Walmart right away. Definitely, they had earnings very recently, and it was interesting, Sean. I don't know if you remember on earnings day one when the whole market was kind of bleeding. This was the 25th, 24th November. The market was kind of bleeding out, but Walmart kind of held its own and held its upper consolidation lows coming in to the next couple of days. We pulled back a little bit, consolidated, maybe accepted some higher prices relative to where we reacted off of. And now take a look at prior day's consolidation going into the end of the day. We consolidated sideways for over 4 hours on Walmart, just going to a higher time frame. Take a look at this. These are all-time highs right there, 109.68s on Walmart. So this is a similar kind of a pattern we keep on seeing with stocks that are attempting to push fresh highs, where you get that consolidation near the highs very tight, and maybe even giving us the opportunity to risk appropriately, right? It's just like, all right, if this is a consolidation, I'm looking for that breakdown. How does it make sense to kind of risk on this? It showed you that all day on Wednesday, we could not break below this 109 level. So if I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be looking for more of the same, let's see if we do dip down below, do we reclaim the 109? Then I'm going to be looking for that push through 110s, through those all-time highs. Take a look at this. Back-to-back days, where we've just been going green about 2% on Tuesday, and then another almost 2.5% on Wednesday. Let's see if we're going to get more of the same today on Walmart. Very, very strong. I like that you pointed out that retail is absolutely is showing some absolute strength. And if we get that market tailwind, maybe we look for that confluence. But again, it was doing price action that was distinctly different from the rest of tech. Right? Tech was getting sold off, Walmart was being held up, and we're seeing that continuation now when the market's kind of like balanced out a little bit as well. So,
just heard in my ear that CME is reporting all products apparently up and running. So, double check with your broker if you don't have any CME quotes, but slowly coming through. Thinking about our charts, and I'll just say this about ours here at Real Trading, they won't backfill. So I'm just going to watch the Qs, because if you call up the ES or the NQs. Here, it won't backfill, so it'll just start as of 8:30 or whenever they get up. The Qs have been motoring the whole way. So if you are using indicators like moving averages, 100 period, 200 period moving averages, depending on what your broker or what your system is, you're not going to have 200 data points, right, heading into the open if you're using a 200 period moving average. So that's something that you have to watch out for. We're both very aware of our charting, watching out for equities, but if you are a Forex trader or anything that's potentially been down here early, double check your charting and make sure that your indicators are meshing with the time frames that you have up. So just a little housekeeping on that one. Sticky note, I'm just taking a picture. My light on for some reason. Just taking a picture of the old sticky note here, and that will be up momentarily. So there it is. Yeah, there you go. You're welcome, TLPYO, and that's something to consider if the stats don't go here. And something to also consider is what's been upgraded and downgraded. And thankfully, we have a very handsome individual that covers that for us every single day. Let's throw to him right now.
Good morning. Once again, hey, welcome, guys. Let's take a look at some of the analyst actions this morning. And at the top of the list, we have ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch by Barclays, getting that price target raised to $94. Five Below as well, too, guys. UBS Group raising that price target to $204. And then Macy's from the retail side, guys. Telsey Advisory Group lifting that price target to $22. And then NEO, guys, you're slightly positive on the pre-market session. You're up 1.1% here. Price target raised to $4 by Barclays as well, too. And then as for the downgrades, guys, we have Billy. Price target lower to $31 by Bank of America. You're still positive on the session, 0.5% roughly. And then Dick's Sporting Goods as well, too, by Barclays, guys. Price target lowered to $242. And then we have CNH Industrial by JPM getting that price target lowered to $10. You're down 1 1/3 approximately there in the pre-market session. And then as for CBT, guys, price target lowered to $54 by JPM.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, one of those names, Joe, on the upgrade list definitely has my interest, and that's going to be day 3 earnings on ANF. So ANF looking very pretty here, pushing to the upside. Day 3, are we going to get that continuation? Day 1 was absolute strength. I didn't expect ANF to grind up all day. There was definitely some sort of buyer here that just pushed it all the way up, sustained buying all the way into the close, closing at the highs. Guess what? That buying's not done. Next day comes in, that buyer steps in right at 9:30, and then, well, I don't know if it's that buyer, but the buying steps in that early, and we get a bit of continuation, sideways consolidation. We saw this on some of those retail names as well, like Walmart, but for about 4 or 5 hours, just a sideways consolidation. So I'm going to be looking at this as like almost a full sector, seeing how kind of some of these moves. We have ANF, we got Walmart, maybe ANF with the upgrade going to be interesting. We'll take a quick look at Macy's as well. I think I saw Macy's on there as well. So similar kind of price action here. Even without earnings, we're seeing a whole sector kind of move on some of these retail names. But Walmart, like you said, one of the leaders, I'm definitely going to be watching that one closely. And then ANF, with that upgrade, could give us that little bit of an umph. If this takes out prior day consolidation highs, I'm going to be looking potentially to see if we can find any opportunities to take inventory into and through 100. So that's what I'm watching on a day like today. But again, something where you have low volume, it's a holiday, it's like holiday trading, so it's nothing too crazy. I'm going to be patient. I'm sure most of you are just recovering from the Turkey Day. So we'll see.
Yeah, Turkey Day. And talking about Turkey Day, shout out to Macy's and their Turkey Day parade. Yesterday it was very, very windy in NYC, and I saw some struggles with some of those balloons. I heard some stories about that as well. I actually only turned it on, and I saw Shaggy, Mr. Lover, came out and was performing something there. Man, that dude looks old, but he's performing great. I consider, like, we used to jam to that. Well, not really, but listen to it anyways back in high school, which was only 5 years ago. But yeah, Shaggy definitely doing the best there. And a shout out to Macy's as we go. But I was just looking to see if anyone's commenting on that 5 years ago thing. Yeah, 5 times 5. Good one, Brendan. I heard that one. All right, we're the same age, my guy over there. Okay, so there it is, though. Nice move up there for Macy's. So I just want to say, like, don't forget a lot of these retailers that continue to work out, man. Macy's also a big real estate play, right? I mean, you guys all know, what is it, on 24th? I don't know where it is there in New York, but there's Macy's. And then don't chase the falling knives, right? I mean, Dick's Sporting Goods came out with a bad, and I don't know about a bad report, but wasn't well received. They were shutting down some of that Foot Locker talk. They had bought Foot Locker. They had shut down a couple stores. The footwear apparel industry apparently not booming right now, although Nike seems to try to get back to the upside there. But yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods. See, this is another one where it's like, if you like the stock, which I love the store, but down into here, you're at the 200 period moving average. So there's potential to get some value here in some retail that's maybe not blowing up yet, which is why I went into Target. But I actually just put it on, and you're going to see it very, very soon. I like Walmart breaking the high today at 110, so we can have a look there as well. But Dick's with a downgrade, but still up 1.7%. But remember, the volume here, Obi, 395 shares. So yeah, about that right now, with a spread of $4.
SMX is moving right now like crazy. I'm already in there. 35s broke out.
You're in.
I'm not even looking at. Well, the thing is, like, I wanted to take 35 push, but I couldn't get it. So I'm just like, all right, can we actually get to 40 in the pre-market? 37.6, so I like the 37.5. So I guess we're starting a little early here today, Sean. 38. So SMX already with a bit of a move. Again, I'm lightly sized. We'll see how this kind of continues. If we can sustain above 35, I like it. If not, that's fine. But yeah, a little bit of a continuation happening. One of the top names in terms of volume here in the pre-market session, and we're starting to get some craziness happening. The spread on this one was absolutely crazy, but we'll wait and see. I know I punched a little bit high, but I'm really light, giving it some wide room. Let's see if we can get some more opportunities. But I like it. It's already showing me in the pre-market what I'm looking for. So we'll see if that will come into fruition. I'm looking for 40s if it'll have me. But you know what? If it's going to get choppy, it is very, very, I guess, kind of very spready. It seems somewhat illiquid in the pre-market right now, just like anybody who's punching in is moving around the price pretty aggressively. So we'll wait and see. But SMX looking pretty decent, guys.
All right, let's go back. Yep.
All right, a couple other things moving around here, guys. This is Google right now. Just took out the highs there with the overall market. Interesting chart I just saw popped up in front of me here. So this is percent market share of autonomous ride sharing per city. So San Francisco, the red line here, just surpassed 10%, which is obviously their first market that they were in, I believe. So, I mean, Waymo's Google. Phoenix, and then LA, which is fairly new for them, down at 4.2%. But just topping 10% of the market share here for Alphabet, coming off, I think it was earlier this week, I feel like we were sitting here Monday, Tuesday maybe, talking about Tesla, both in Arizona and there was one other.
Austin.
Yep. No, but there was one other city.
Oh,
Nevada. Nevada, they had just got their license passed as well. So quietly, here comes Google too.
Yeah, Brendo, and they've, my memory serves me correctly, they're looking to expand into 6 cities next year. I'm talking about Waymo, of course. Good look for them. Gemini 3 also really helping push the stock a lot higher. It's been well received, a lot more robust than its previous or its predecessor 2.5, and certainly better than 2, which was, you know, to put it mildly, hot garbage. Keeping an eye, though, Brendo, on Tesla as well, as they have a headline today that they want to double their RoboTaxi fleet in Austin. And Elon Musk on the Tesla earnings call, said that he wants to have the security driver or the safety driver removed by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that would, I don't want to put them on par with Waymo, but Waymo obviously doesn't have a safety driver at the moment, so Tesla still needs to take that step.
On the Gemini 3 specifically, I completely agree as far as Gemini 2 goes, but Gemini 3,
Really
I've almost got to a point where I've switched entirely. Yeah. You know, Sean was talking about that nano banana thing. It's bananas. Like it is the most craziest thing I've ever tried in my entire life. Meanwhile, just real quick on, just want to mention this. There's Bitcoin, guys, just breaking the highs. We just hit 92,600 on BTC. Don't look now.
Like it.
Maybe a Friday rally for crypto here?
And that's what people are saying, Brendo. They're saying 92,000 was the resistance level that we had to clear. A lot of traders looking at that key psychological and technical level to push through it. If it failed to break through 92,000, they were saying it's going to retest the lows or possibly consolidate. But you know what I always say, Brendo, we need that closing print above 92. We can't just have an intraday pop and then drop.
Decent amount of volume behind that move through 92,000, guys. We are coming back in a little bit right now. Just going back to that nano banana thing real quickly. I took basically 5 pictures from all angles around this new area that we've built here in the studio, fed them all into nano banana, and then said, build me another whatever in that corner to go along with the rest of the studio.
That's amazing.
And the images that it came up with,
really,
like a finished product, completely finished product that I mean, it seemed like we could start using it tomorrow. It's so good. But
I want to say one thing as well, Brando. The speed for Gemini,
way better.
Far better than chat. I don't know if it's because the demand is less, but that is as important of a part in the LLM experience as the accuracy. It can't take forever to generate.
There's a few little things still that I still go to ChatGPT for, but Gemini 3 is really, really good, guys, as we were talking about earlier in the week. But yeah, Bitcoin here on volume heading through the highs.
Like I have, I don't know what we want to talk about first, but yeah, Google. I'm on IBIT today for sure, and breaking through 90,000 is going to be huge. Well, you have Bitcoin up, okay? So I'll leave Bitcoin with Obi, but I think we're both thinking long, anyways. They're at least looking there. That nano banana is crazy, and I mean, I was mentioning it last week, and we all were, and it's just that break on Google again right here, and you know, you saw some consolidation break higher. So right now, you're kind of just trying to see where that next move is here. I mean, it's such a monster move just for a large language model update, but you know, is there going to be one ring to rule them all? You know, like it's the same thing that we always talk about. And it's just like Brendan said, now he's maybe potentially made the switch. There's going to be uses for Perplexity. Everyone's going to find, you know, a large language or some sort of an app that they like better than something else, you know. But we just talked about Adobe. We talked about all the things that these programs can do. And I just think that whenever you have the money, like the Google, the Meta, the Alibaba, like Alibaba, Sharif gave that story about the glasses now with Alibaba. We know that Meta's working on those as well. Amazon, these guys, whatever projects they seem to work on are going to work out. They can hire the best engineers. They pay an extraordinary amount of money to get that happening. And with OpenAI, kind of taking a little bit of a backseat and catching some fire a little bit, you know, from how long they're taking to, you know, maybe release their new model and sort of work within Copilot. I know Joe was using Copilot for a minute, but there's not much. I even asked Joe about how hot that upgrades and downgrade stuff looked, and he had messaged me and said that he was using Gemini to build that, you know? So it's just like, there's so many different things happening with Google. We don't even talk about YouTube in this realm anyways, right? And their search business is still hot because everybody was so nervous, Obi, that when you drop down the search bar, you know, who's clicking on those links? Well, right now, they still have those links there, and they have a nice little explanation from an AI bot that may help you get your answer, and if it doesn't, here are the links. You know, so I just think it's going to go. The Pixel has some Black Friday deals as well on right now. Their TPU, and so we're talking about all of this, and we're not even talking about, you know, their tensor processing unit, what Meta is apparently saving a little bit of money on, because not every single application you're going to run needs NVIDIA chips. Some of them need lesser powered chips. So what's the point of dropping down the billions and billions of dollars if just a small 100 million might work? Why drop down $1 billion, right? And so Google's going to have something to say about that. I just think it's overextended, yes, overvalued. I'm never going to use that term because I don't know what the true value of this behemoth is, right? I mean, if you're going to use market multiples, it's above the market multiple now. So if you are one of those that like to fade over extended names, I think it's probably a little overextended here, but I don't want to short it. So for me on Google, it's just a long. There's the 200 period at 320. It did have a dip down there on Wednesday, early on, again, concerns that, you know, maybe Nvidia still had some juice to it. Nvidia went one way, Google went the other. I think Google retraces back today and potentially breaks that 327 area, which was talked about there on Tuesday, that Tuesday top of 327 there. So yeah, let's watch out for that. And I still like Google long for sure.
Yeah, in terms of Bitcoin, I am watching this. We had a strong day last trading day there, pushing up into the 90s. We've consolidated and maybe another leg up. Maybe do we see that 95 today? I don't know, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be watching some of this. We saw Joe with a banger trade on that IBIT prior day, where yeah, we just had a straight line up here on Bitcoin as we just kind of continued going, melting up 90Ks. We are sustaining now on Bitcoin here. Okay, so this SMX seems like it's getting absolutely shellacked here. So yeah, I wasn't really watching it for a couple of seconds, and that thing drops all the way down to VWAP. All right, cool. I'm going to continue watching this one. Like I said, a little light. Kind of taking a bit of a hit unnecessarily right now, but I'm going to be a little patient with this one, guys. But Bitcoin definitely one of the names on watch. Let's see if IBIT can give us a similar move on a day like today.
All right, let's get into everything we need to know heading into the Friday shortened session. Remember, you're just joining, some housekeeping to start things off. A little bit different today. We close at 1 p.m., so the show will run with the morning show typically from 8 until 10 a.m. only this morning. And then we'll go 10 to 12 on the midday, guys, and then back with the close 12 to 1 p.m. Just keep that in mind. So let's kick things off here with a look at the market, and then we'll get into some individual names.
68.28, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES December contract. A few days left on this contract here, but most notably, guys, we broke that lower high trend earlier in the week when we took out 67.75. So we are in a new possible uptrend here. We're still looking, though, at 6,900 as that key area of resistance. Intraday, though, the overnight high 68.44. So we'll say 68.50 as that first level of support. If we continue up, we're looking at 68.75. If we sell off, Brendo, we got that nice round 6,800 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you grab that. Adara, a trooper today, not feeling well, but doing the watch list duties anyways from home. So shout out to Adara. If you haven't done so yet, description below has the link. Top link will get you to that page, and then you just need your email address. And you can have that absolutely free every single day. We just hinted at it briefly there, but if you haven't looked at crypto or Bitcoin specifically yet today, BTC just taking out the highs on decent amount of volume. IBIT here following suit, basically at session highs as we speak. Crypto on a nice bounce.
I hope people had their resting orders, Brendo, because it's a lot harder to buy when you're trying to decide in the moment. When you throw out those orders, you take out the subjectivity, you take out the emotion. I hope you guys bought in the 80s. Let's talk about what it's doing today. Reclaimed 91,000 after a choppy 24 hours. There was $171.5 million in liquidations out of the BTC ETF. However, yesterday, BTC ETF saw a positive inflow to 21.1 million. But get this. ETH ETFs pulled in 60.8 million, almost tripling the amount of money that came into BTC ETFs. Analysts note that BTC is approaching a major overhead levels on the 4-hour. We're talking about that 92,000 area that we are above right now. Failure at this zone, though, could trigger a quick reaction and a return to range-bound trading. We also have to keep an eye on ETH. As I mentioned, it's trading above $3,000. Crypto Quant noted Ethereum has the highest futures appetite relative to spot volume among large caps, and market analysts are highlighting $3,000, Brendo, as a key area of support.
And a lot of interest in general, guys, here in the pre-market. I mean, it's not a ton of volume, but relatively speaking, versus other equities here, IBIT off and running early.
Yeah, I know Obi just did a little bit of work there with crypto. So I just put on here, and I don't know if it's going to be hitting because, again, we draw this a little earlier, these lines, and we figure it all out. But I put IBIT down here to 51 to 51 and a quarter, just thinking that that would be a dip down spot there, but it's not, like, it's definitely not dipping. So again, like when we're first looking at this, we're up here around 52 bucks, and since then we've gone up straight up 50 cents. If we went down 50 cents, I think we'd be a buyer. So let's wait to see. The 200 periods now at 51.50 here on BTC. I think on a shortened day where the market, hasn't done much here in the pre, you want to trade things that are trending, right? So we have Oracle to the short side. That's down about 2.5%. I'll have to double check what the price action has been there. But this looks like it's starting to recoup some of those losses again here, right? So I would say that this little consolidation here created this bump to the high side. So this is where we're at, right? This is 51 to 51 and a quarter. So I really, the fact that we had built a base there and really couldn't find any sellers to come in and hit this thing back through 90 again, let's just now appreciate the move higher. And if we're going to look to potentially where we're maybe thinking about getting something out, if we can get up to this 53.50 area, which is about $1 from here, then I think that could be a temporary top just for the day trade. Because although the market closes at 1 o'clock, we know that IBIT will obviously do aftermarket trading, but this is a 24-hour market, Bitcoin. So if you're going to go long into the weekend, I think you've got a good base there at 90,000, but I wouldn't necessarily load into anything over this weekend. It is a long weekend considering the fact that the market closes at 1. You get a half day off there and back on Monday pursuing. Hopefully a negative month gets closed up a little bit today. If the Nasdaq can end up positive, it'll help us with some nice momentum into the weekend and then maybe even into Monday for Bitcoin. But you never know what could happen over the weekend. I would just say that 90,000 is a good bid area. And if we're going to try to buy it today, unfortunately, we're a little past some of the levels that I wrote down. So maybe the first area of concern is actually these pre-market bunch. So around 52 bucks there for IBIT today. But yeah, it's definitely on the radar. It has to be looked at. I had a crazy short the other day in this last week. Joe had a good long. Definitely something to look at. IBIT moving around, and then we also have. I was going to look at BMNR, but
yeah, BMNR.
This could be another one that's just doing the volume, right? 2.6 million OB. So we want to look at names that are actually have some interest today. So BMNR and IBIT both doing big volume here in the pre-market, off of 3,000 for Ethereum and 90,000 for Bitcoin. Both seem to be hopefully areas of support that we can play off of. So all good. We do have. Sia will be making her debut today around 9:30. We see Adara in the chat. We want to say get well to her. We're excited to offer some new opportunities to some new hosts. So that should be really great to have that happen. And
yeah, for sure.
Eventually, the whole team will be here and we'll have some exciting things to go.
Whole team.
Just like Brendan was saying, man, there's so much more for us to show you and to build, and more segments and new fun things. Coming for Trader TV Live, and not just fun, but informative, and hopefully, help you guys, have a successful trading day and spend it with us. So we're now live. If you're just joining us, I keep saying this, and it sounds like a broken record for those of you that are joining us live early, but it's 8 o'clock now. So join us at 8 a.m. Set your alarms, get that going. Make sure you hit that little bell in the chat as well. You know, subscribe on the YouTube page. Get that notification. Let you know that we're live and running every day now at 8 a.m. So big time today. Us until 10, Joe Sharif till noon. Then I believe all of us back 12 to 1 or so, or at least Obi and I back 12 to 1. I think we're going to have, if Fabian shows up, I'm not sure if he's feeling well today. Maybe Brendan can address that. But we were going to do a Family Feud type of fun game. So if he's here, we'll do that. If not, we'll have some fun anyways in that last hour. So happy post-Thanksgiving to everybody. But do you have any thoughts on crypto today?
So yeah, we just talked about that Bitcoin, but in terms of you know, a vehicle to potentially kind of push into that move, I'm looking at Coinbase here. Coinbase pushing up into that 275 area. Current pre-market highs 274.60s. So yeah, a bit of a hold structure, hold stepping up. Let's see if we can push a little bit higher. Just looking back at it, I think it's selling kind of started here this day at 285s, so that's what I'm looking for here. If we can get that strong push, maybe a slow move towards those levels on the day today. But again, Bitcoin dependent. We'll see if Bitcoin kind of pushes through that 95 like we were talking about before.
You can confirm, guys, that Fabian is inbound, so we will go ahead with that. Fabian commutes from way up north. Our boy Randy has a long drive, but Fabian does it all on transit too. So shout out to Fabian. He's on his way. Let's move on here. A number of other things still moving around here on the pre-market this morning as well. We touched on Chinese ADRs a little bit to kick things off early on this morning. Quiet action so far here. This is Alibaba on the right. Quiet action so far for most of them. They are down a little bit, but it's been a wild couple of weeks here for these.
Absolutely, Brendo. They're mostly green on my watch list. Baba, the only one that's red, despite the good headline. Let's talk about this headline here. Then I got one on Baidu. So Baba officially released its Quirk AI glasses. They're going to be available in two versions, the S1 and the G1. The S1 is going to be a little bit more expensive, about 3,800 yuan, about 540 bucks, give or take. The G1 is going to be about 1,900 yuan. Both models are going to integrate Alibaba's Qwen AI model and connect with the newly launched Qwen app. Some key hardware features are going to include display embedded lenses, on-frame camera, and real-time AI functionality embedded right into the glasses. They're going to be able to generate, on-the-go translation, AI meeting notes, all the stuff that we've seen Meta already launch in its own products. Baba looking at throwing their hat into that ring as well. Separately, Baidu looking at unveiling a roadmap here, Brendo, a 5-year roadmap for their Kunlun chips, starting with the M100 in 2026 and the M300 in 27. According to the reports, they're already deploying their own processors along Nvidia's hardware. ASICs, guys, we're going to get to this on the midday show. We've got to do a deep dive into these new application-specific integrated circuits. These may undo a lot of Nvidia's chips as they're custom-made for the specific application. I know you're laughing, but we're going to get to that, Brendo. JP Morgan also forecasting Baidu's chip sales will surge 6-fold to 8 billion yuan by next year. That's about $1.1 billion.
Here I thought you were talking about running shoes. I will watch that because I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, here's, we got NIO earnings going back a few days earlier in the week. Anyway, EV stocks, Chinese EVs specifically, to the upside, as we were saying, pretty much strong across the board outside Baba, guys.
Yeah, Baba down 1.3%. I mean, that's a little bit of a strange one there. I think that all these glasses are way too expensive for what people are eventually going to do. But people, maybe they're going to be like a fashion thing as well. Like people just, to each their own, they may just want to get involved. I don't think that many U.S. names, many people in the United States will be buying these Baba Quirk or whatever they are, those glasses. But I think it's interesting that they're involved there. Obviously, the Chinese market's huge. So I don't need to tell everybody that. Doesn't mean that just because we may not choose Baba glasses over Meta doesn't mean that they won't work out. And it's just interesting that, again, dipping toes, right? We talked about that with Google. It's just another product. They come up with better chips, new AI model, now this, phones, everything. So Alibaba, I think, is a great play. And with a PE under 20 right now, I don't think you can do too much wrong with Alibaba, nor do I TCEHY. Shout out to Jeff Mendel in the OTC market. This Tencent, if you look at what Tencent's PE is, I believe this is in the low teens, maybe TCEHY, Tencent. So let's just double check this. This is, again, remember, this is the all-in sort of application that's, I mean, I remember this when Elon was talking about taking X private and everything and trying to turn it into what is Tencent back in the day. There it is, the forward P, not low teens, sorry, 17 right there, current P 25 for Tencent. And let's just double check what Alibaba is again here. And this is just a way, so Baba is the one that's 21 to 23, so they're just a little under, or if not at, market multiple as well. So both of these names I think can perform quite well here. We did have guests on the show like Brian Shannon and whatnot that kind of are saying like, there's so many names to trade in the US, why would you look and take some of the market risk that Tencent or some of these Chinese ADRs have involved with the fact that the government is necessarily not pro-capitalism the way that we are here in the United States. And, you could get some push and pull there from trade wars and tariffs and whatnot. So I do get it. And maybe I'm wrong on chasing P here. Like this is underneath VWAP, or sorry, not underneath VWAP, underneath the 50-period moving average and not looking super healthy right now as Tencent. So, maybe the buy for this name is more near this 200 period, which does give us a nice breakout back on the summertime lows. So, right there, not the lows, but I guess before we sort of broke out. Maybe 72 to 74 for Tencent's a little bit better. And then Alibaba, we've already talked about this story a couple times here today, but what a move that was on Friday. Added to the no-go zone, I guess. The United States had about 130 companies there that were warned for Chinese risk. And Alibaba was, story about that I think was this day, and then confirmed, I think, Bloomberg also reported it there on Wednesday. So Alibaba went all the way into 150. I like that level for Alibaba. So I'm a buyer of Alibaba, I think more than Tencent right now. But I like those. And you've got, I didn't talk about it on purpose because I thought you were going to talk about FXI, but you could also look at the ETF.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at both of those here, Sean. So yeah, a bit of a bid here on FXI. That's their large cap ETF in China. You can see that little wick action off of BABA that came in. So when it comes to China strength, I'm looking at BABA because again, BABA with a bit of an opposite news relative to potential strength that might be happening in other places in the market. But yeah, I'm watching BABA for sure. We got to ping down into that 150s. Maybe we kind of have a little bit of a trickle down as well. 155s, don't forget, is that earnings reaction low just from Tuesday night. So yeah, that's definitely on watch for me today. One of my top names out of, I guess, what we talked about SMX, we talked about Oracle, and yeah, definitely Alibaba as well.
What is SMX? Oh yeah, you're in SMX there. Yeah, 34, 50, trying to hold and trying to get back to the upside right now. All right, that's China strength. Apple Singles Day. I know nothing about this. Let me go see what Brendan's saying.
We were talking, guys, about the fact that Apple has potentially the ability to overtake Samsung as the #1 market share for smartphones once again. Singles Day, obviously in China, could be a big help to that coming true. Real quick first, wanted to mention this. I just saw a note pop up in front of me. This is a monthly chart of silver. Just made an all-time high. So silver all-time highs this morning. It's absolutely parabolic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months in a row. Straight higher for silver. No one's talking about that. But
unbelievable, yeah.
Apple looking pretty good here.
Yeah, Apple is looking real good here, Brendo, because of China specifically, as you mentioned. So let's talk about what is this Singles Day? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a day for single people. Shout out to me. Counterpoint Research reports that Apple alone was responsible for lifting China's overall Singles Day smartphone sales, accounting for 26% of all the units sold. Total smartphone sales rose 3% year over year. But if you exclude Apple, they're actually down 5% year over year. That's how important Apple was in China this time around. The iPhone 17 recorded exceptionally strong momentum, according to Counterpoint, with competitors outpacing competitors, I should say, across the month-long promotion period. Even though with the heavy promotions this year, the Singles Day disappointed in terms of sales. However, smartphones were a standout area where consumers remain selective, showing their willingness to buy only when the brand value is high, and Apple is leading that way. Just to give you an idea of what they're looking at in terms of market share, Huawei's share dropped from 17% to 13%. It was a kind of a meek reception for the Mate 80, and Xiaomi held 17%, Brendo, but they saw year-over-year declines due, according to Counterpoint here, because of an earlier than usual timing for its launch cycle.
Yeah, first time, I think it was 2011 was the last time that Apple was #1 on that market share list, so it's been a while.
I think they outsold Samsung by about 10 million. 235 or 225 total units for Samsung, 235 or 245 for Apple. So it's about 10 million more.
Let's see. Here comes maybe all-time highs. Guys, what pullback? Apple looks great.
Yeah, Apple looks absolutely solid, man. I think it's attempting that push for those all-time highs.
Yeah, I love Apple.
I've been watching this. I've been very actively trading it here, both long and short. Some great opportunities as it just chops around. You can see this. This is a 3-hour chart. This candle right here is that earnings reaction right here. So we pinged both sides, 260s and then 284s. On the upside right there, still trading within that range for the past couple of weeks. For pretty much the whole month since earnings, we've only been in that range. So this range break on Apple is definitely going to be interesting. I like that we consolidated, we accepted, and now we're attempting to push a little bit higher. Let's see if we can get that break of 285s. Don't know if it's going to happen today, but yeah, maybe those singles will definitely give us some opportunities to hit some singles on this name today.
Yeah, singles more like doubles for Apple there, because I mean this name is not stopping. I don't think we had some good trade. It was my #1 stock there on Wednesday, where we're able to sort of buy some of those dips that happened right into here. So we sort of just supported this 277 area. We wrote down I think 278 that we really liked on Friday, and that turned out to basically be cash. And then or on Wednesday, and it was just a really kind of a slow turn to the downside during the closing moments there on Wednesday. But Apple, the all-time high I just looked is 280.39. You're not that far away from it. Apple had a monster move and then it came back. So like I remember we broke that top and got a little bit out. Then we got hit on the way back down and eventually let it settle down and find a bottom. That's been the case for Tesla. That's been the case for even for Google and for a lot of those names, Nvidia, where it's pretty choppy in the first half hour or so and then it finds its move. So I think we'll wait for Apple. Being flat against the market today shows me relative muted movement possible today on Apple, and the Nasdaq's trying to turn down, and Apple's not getting much volume, right? We do have the imbalances coming out at 9:25, so right now it's just New York imbalances, and you can see a couple sell side, couple bids, not much going on. Circle catching a bid finally as well. Excuse me, BM&R, we talked about that. Uber, I like. Ooh, okay, we bought Uber at 83 and change there during the move down. This is one of the only names I bought on this and Alibaba I bought during last week. Other than that, nothing else. But nice to see Uber on the way back up as well. Then yeah, I don't know if Neil's been actually trading too much silver, but we've been looking at silver, and yeah, there it goes, man, breaking to the upside. As Brendan said, I actually looked at gold as well. Gold had about a month or two downside, and silver, just as Brendan said, 7 straight up months. So yeah, like if you're going to play momentum in names that are moving today, SLV, shout out to everybody in the chat and that had brought this up, and there it goes, man, breaking through $50. I wouldn't use 50 as necessarily a magnet or anything. This is just trading based on spot silver. So, the price 50 doesn't mean that much. It's more the momentum that continues to break. We've had a great 3 days, man, where you gapped up there from 44 to 45, then 47, then 48. Now today it looks like 50 is coming into play. So yeah, man, all those silver bugs out there continue to work it out. And I still remember my father-in-law used to give the kids these little silver pieces of silver, stamped and everything. They're not barely an ounce or 2 ounces. I don't think they're worth anything. Like silver as a commodity, not worth nearly the others. But as far as a trade, yeah, what a move up there for silver, and then gold even up 0.81. So you can play momentum in both these metals. So I think that's something to look at for today. All right, Obi, we just talked about Apple. Let's go over now 3 big names, man. Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia. So yeah, Nvidia's going to have a month that they like to forget about. And it's funny because it came on earnings. So we'll talk about that in a couple stories. But right now, Tesla, Brendan, what we got for that?
Yeah, another monthly chart we'll get here in a second for November specifically for Nvidia, not good. As you were mentioning, 420, we went back, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? We were talking about 420 was resistance, then we got above it, ended up being support. We closed basically at the highs going back to the prior session here. So opening relatively flat, but a couple of interesting notes. That's one of them with this new battery patent that could be a breakthrough. improving efficiency dramatically, specifically on the RoboTaxi side of things. So, I mean, there's never not a catalyst for Tesla.
God, no, there's always something. That's one of their fastest growing segments too, Brendo, so that's going to be really interesting to watch. Another headline today is the RoboTaxi build out, guys. Here's what we're talking about. They're looking at doubling the number of RoboTaxis that they've got in Texas in the month of December, 6 months after the company launched the service. Elon Musk saying on X, quote, should roughly double next month, his words, not mine. Tesla rolled out its self-driving taxi service in Austin in June, though the robo-taxis, as we know, still have a safety driver in the driver's seat. On the earnings call, last month or whatever it was, Elon said that he wants to have that safety driver removed by the end of the year. Quote, his words are, our goal is to be actually paranoid about deployment because obviously even one accident will be front page headline news worldwide. He said on the call, we do expect to be operating robo-taxis in, I think, about 10 or 8 metro areas, Brendo, by the end of the year. Only a month left. You better be quick.
Yeah, one of those things too, I think with Elon, as he does with many things he's involved in, once they get that or get to that point where they can remove the safety driver, the rate at which they'll scale this is just going to be exponential and just snowball incredibly. Here's another interesting headline for you as far as Tesla goes. BYD on the competition side, BYD we're calling about 88,000 plug-in hybrids specifically over, guess what, a battery issue. So maybe, I'm not necessarily going to affect things today specifically for Tesla, but good to put in your pocket and understand. Coming back in a little bit, however, right now, guys, for Tesla.
I'll get Obi's opinion on Tesla in just a minute. The imbalances are now out, so I did see that move happening, Brendan, as Tesla's coming back in a little bit there. I don't really see it on here for any sort of significance, but obviously there's something going on right now. Is the market going one way, Tesla coming back in? I really like the stock here, Tesla, but what do you think about Obi here? What do you think about some of these levels? If anything, maybe 422 or so down here. But right now turning around. I may not be on this name too much today against the market. I do like a break high, though, of 430 if the market goes. We will definitely be on Tesla as this is that sort of bottoming formation that we're looking for. We nailed Tesla. It was Apple too, but Tesla was my #1 stock on Friday, and it's only because we waited. We didn't even get involved until about 10 o'clock there for TSLA. So let's see if we can find some bids. This is why we talked about 422. Looked like we touched it about 4 or 5 times there in the middle of the day on Wednesday. So I like 422 for Tesla. Only a couple minutes left there, Obi. Any thoughts here on TSLA? And if not, that's cool.
Tesla, I'm looking for that continuation, man. We saw the kind of wind up that it had chopping around that 400s for the past couple of weeks, so that was very interesting. Some great reversions back into 400 on many days. We saw this strong sell-off day that was the 20th of November. Very aggressive selling. Again, I'm still on that 3-hour chart because I do want to look back at some price action, but we sold off about 8% intraday on Tesla that day. Guess what, Sean? We basically reclaimed 400 a couple days later and just wiped all the way back to the top of the range. So I like that. Let's see if we can get this bit of a double bottom pressure. I was like, all right, this consolidation low. I think this was a great short idea, but when it comes in and it shows you that it cannot follow through on the break below 400, I'm going to be a little bit wary. So yeah, I'm just going to be like, all right, we failed to follow through the lows. Do we get back to the top of the range because we've reclaimed some of these? This 416s area was interesting as well. You can see multiple tests of this area showed up as support. A little bit of a failure to follow through, a little bit of a follow through, but once again, failure to follow through back into the range. So could be choppy. It's in range, but I'm looking for a push through 430. That's what I'm looking for.
All right, Nvidia time with 2 minutes left.
Let's go right to the monthly chart here. This is the candle I was talking about. Big, ugly, red reversal candle here for Nvidia. For the month of November, it is not healthy, 11.5% to the downside on the back of that earnings report that Sean was mentioning. I mean, a few other question marks around valuations, the AI game entirely coming into question as we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks. If, however, I'll throw this out there, if we can close still above that October low, could be worse.
Absolutely. The technicals, if they hold up, it's going to look fantastic, Brendo. The fundamentals, though, are ever changing. So I'm going to get this quickly because we're going to ring the bell. But there's a new generation of dedicated AI chips. As I mentioned, as I prefaced earlier on, application-specific integrated circuit chips. These are much more cost-efficient and power-efficient than NVIDIA's chips. Think of these application-specific chips as sort of, Phillips screwdriver, and the NVIDIA chips more of, a multi-tool where they do everything. No, these are application-specific chips. They're good for proprietary workloads, Brendo. They also reduce vendor lock-in, and they bypass CUDA, which has been one of the strongest moats NVIDIA's had to lock in their customers.
Yeah, a lot to consider going forward, I think, going into the end of the year and next year, obviously, for NVIDIA. Under a minute here, guys. Happy Friday.
All right, man, you got us for a half hour now. Obi just said, are you ready for the most exciting half hour of all time? Obi and I until 10, Joe, Sharif, 10 till 12, and then we're back 12 to 1. Right now, there's 10 seconds right now. So let's get that going. Ramin, there it is. Thank you. No problem. That was very well timed. I'm not sure. Very well timed here. So we go. Welcome to everybody. It is now. What day is it again? Friday. As we go, I'm going to change your mind on NVIDIA. Oh, geez, that was loud. We're going to change our mind. NVIDIA's tanking pretty decently right here from 180 down to 179. Let's watch out. I've got Walmart. Let's wait to see if Walmart opens up to a nice move. It's right now not open yet. I'm waiting for 110 to break on Sir Walmart. We'll see if that does happen. And then Oracle might be the fade. There's Fabian. What's up, Fabian? Looking forward to Family Feud there today. But here comes Oracle making the move a little higher. Was looking to get a short if this one does bounce just a little bit. So, yeah, so far so good. NVIDIA making the move. And then Apple. I mean, what I'm looking for is Oracle short, NVIDIA possible as a long there, and then maybe some IBIT long as well with Walmart breaking through that 110 if that does happen. So far so good.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment for myself here on SMX. Again, you guys saw I was not paying attention to the position in the pre-market as well as closely as I should have been, and got absolutely rocked on that swipe down. But guess what? We manage the mischief every now and then. Oh wow, look at that! Another push, another bait, Sean. This thing is halting down now. SMX. Okay.
Watch out now.
I see you. I did not get right back in because I was like, all right, well, you're gonna do that to me. I'm just gonna wait for 41s now. I'm not gonna mess around in this area, which has already been kind of messed around with. But this quadrunk was nasty. I took a $2 hit on this because I was like, all right, VWAP's holding, kind of average in, work out of the position as best as I can. But off of the open, it slaps up into 37s. There goes Google, by the way. Google is blasting off 325s. There's SMX
Tesla.
halted down. Didn't I tell you, Sean? The most exciting 30 minutes of your life right now on a holiday.
Hopefully not,
day.
but yeah, maybe, yeah.
SMX to the downside, already done about 6.35 million shares, slamming back into this consolidation low right off of the open. So I don't know if we needed borrows for this, but like I wasn't really watching this. That got slammed in. When we break this consolidation back in, I like that as well for a potential continuation. Gonna wait for that. Last print was at 931.22, so this should technically open up at 936. 22. Let's see what, okay, so Amazon.
We have an oh boy situation here.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of an oh boy situation, but Amazon looked like it was very, very strong here and then pulling right back in into its day low. So let's take a quick look at that one. I was just like, I looked at it for 2 seconds. I'm like, maybe potentially a reversion. Look back at it, the backside's in, and I'm just like, all right, cool. That's a bit of a missed one here. So 3 minute, I like to use a 3 minute here, but you know what? To capture some of the moments that I'm looking at, it was go straight to the 1 minute right there. Push up into 232, slam right back down in the 230s. So holding this pre-market consolidation lows as of right now. Alphabet going as well.
We should have shorted Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle continuing.
Yeah, and I should have shorted it. It went up to side. I just want to go quickly, Obi, as you were just on one right there. 430 right here, Tesla just, as you had mentioned, Google going. 430 ripped for Tesla up to 432.50. A little bit of a dip down for Tesla. I'll buy. I'm buying this 430, 429. I'm getting out if it breaks 428 real quick, right? If it breaks VWAP, breaks to 200, breaks to 50, we're out. But let's get some long on Tesla. And then let's get some short on AMD, I think, as well. But this one I'm a little bit more cautious of as we had to move down. Now we're trying to battle back upside a little bit. You know what? I'll just let's take a little bit here. We just missed it. I was going to get VWAP and I canceled it there. Now we're back in. Okay. okay. Looking to see for AMD on this short. Again, I think a break of 217 gets me out of this, but we are now short just a little bit now on AMD. I'm gonna go up to 216. Put another offer in and around there, see if we get a little bit more, and then watch out for 216.50, and then if 217 breaks, we can get out here on AMD, but I don't mind this at all for an early trade on advanced micro devices, because you know what, we had Nvidia starting to drip a little bit. I mean, the Nasdaq's trying to go now. So we'll be very, very patient with this trade. There we go, take another piece here. And then watch out, if we break that 217, sort of where we wick to the top of, then we can get out of advanced micro devices. Maybe this is a day for them, but we're short right now on AMD, and then also trying to see what Tesla's gonna do.
Tesla 430.
Yeah, we missed it. So I was bidding 430, as we just talked about. It only came down to 430 change, 430.30s. I'm at 430 O's. So right now, miss on that. And AMD, we will not be stubborn with this one, man. If this wants to rip up, we have our plan of action. Get another fill right here where VWAP was, and then we'll deal with that there. So 216.50, our flat trade. There we'll get some much bigger shares, and then we'll wait out for 217, and hopefully there it is. And hopefully this doesn't snap our neck here early. And if it does, it does. Our big trades have happened around 10 o'clock, but right now we're short into AMD. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I'm just kind of watching, taking some stabs here on the Googles, see if that'll come into fruition here. A little bit of a slowdown, but okay. Well, what did I just do? Oh man, I typed in the stop wrong. It punched me out right away.
Oh no.
Okay, all right, cool. Then I will. Oh wow, it's much lower now. Should probably just get back in with a little bit less and risk appropriately here. So we'll see if that one can potentially come into fruition, but. One more minute until this open on SMX here, so just being patient for that one to potentially come in. Okay, 326 is big bid on Google, so it seems like Google continuation with a little bit of that strength happening as of right now. So going to be a little bit more patient for this one, potentially poised for some fresh highs. So I'm going to get out of that one, let that one cook, and maybe pan out some more price action. Like I said, I like the reversions, but if the buyer is going to be here, I'll take a couple stabs on the initial push of some selling to kind of feel it out. And if it starts working right away, I'm gonna push into a little bit more. But yeah, here we go on 326s. On this one here. Okay,
here we go.
433s on Tesla. Tesla's holding up its own pretty well here, Sean. So something to watch out for. Apple to the downside. What else do we got? Softy. Nothing crazy. Amazon just holding that range as of right now. So Meta's the only one I'm not really watching. Let's take a quick look at Meta. There's the SMX open. There it is. We opened up
We're a dollar
right there on SMX. Dollar Club for Sean right there. 30. This thing is going crazy, Sean.
Which one?
SMX.
Oh,
I think this has some sort of has potential to make a crazy move, but you know what? I'm going to let it do some trapping and clapping first. Kind of
trap music.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the shorts were nice, then they weren't, and then the longs were nice, and then they weren't. So a lot of chop happening in the market.
SMX open again.
Strong. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So 32s, nice little chop here. What do you got going on there?
Good, nothing. I mean, you know what? I mean, it did go $1 in the money. We were to take something out there at the 21. We took something out at the 200 at the first spot there. But I told you guys we were getting short 216.50 there on AMD. So now let's let it see if we can finally cook a little bit here. We are well in the money now, but we still have like 75% of this trade, so not sure. Look at the Nasdaq. I'm gonna take out another piece right here just quickly. Not sure because there we were bidding 77s. That's me right there. We got filled. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait to see if this wants to make a move down. I'm at 215 flat. Right into here. Maybe we should go to 215.20 or so, but I'll wait to see if we do get a drip down. Remember, our stop is going to be 217, so we're just like kind of like 1-to-1 right now. It's not really, it didn't make the move down. I thought here when we were starting to crack lower that we were going to get aggressive, but not really too much volume here in AMD as we watch out for Nvidia as well. So if this continues to drip down, we'll see if AMD can follow suit there. I did have written long Nvidia, but we did not go forward with that plan. It bled in the pre-market there. I've told you this many times, man. I'm not going to sit rate at these levels that I marked down an hour and a half before trade, that we're going to buy those levels all the time. But it did get me involved with AMD there because this one, relatively strong versus an Nvidia. So if the chip space wants to come down, then bring it on down, I say over and over again. We had 202 written down for Oracle. It gets to 201 and change, and then now drops $3 off of that. Let's go, AMD. Let's get that going right now. 30 cents or so of a spread, which is kind of strange for advanced micro devices. We're still down here at 215. I'm going to put one at 215 30s right now, see if we can get a piece out right there as well, just because of the spread. Like, it just dropped into 40s and then right back up into 70s again right there. Let's check out on some Black Friday. I mean, who's going Black Friday shopping around here? Well, some people are, and it would be with Walmart, I would assume, as Walmart looking go. Yes, AMD is making that move down. I'm going to cancel this Walmart trade, a 110, just because, Obi, we are now at 2 times. There it is. It is the cash register now being run. We are at 215.03s right now. Can we get it? We called this short on AMD, man. We're here. We're alive in this building one more time. We're not alive. We are live, trading live right now. We are also alive. If for some reason I do not look alive, please just flatten my positions. I'll resuscitate myself. Here goes 215. Bang! There it is right there. Get into the gates of hell, my guy, as now we are $1.30 in the money and going lower. There we go. What's up, B-balling right now? We got to have some fun around here. I'm just, this is part of this is part of the show. Like, I'm in this trade. I'm very focused here, trust me. That's why I'm only looking here. This is now $1.50 in the money. I've completely changed my strategy. I used to be in 3 or 4 names, but the problem is I couldn't share size properly. Sometimes I'd be in a monster winner and I don't have enough, and sometimes I'd be in a monster loser and I have way too much. But right now, if we focus in on certain plays, certain things that we like, then we can hit it, and we can hit it damn good. And there it goes. Bang, Obi, now $2 in the money.
How long have you been at the club for?
It's
fancy seeing you here.
Yeah. You're in the club now?
Yeah.
Are you in the club? This man is in the club as well. Let's go, Google.
Club. Yeah, dude. So here's the thing. Google, I was like, yeah, I want to get a little bit involved with that 326. I'm just like looking at it, I'm talking, I'm a little distracted. I'm just going off of, just just
here
trading off of vibes, that
yeah,
vibe
man.
trading sometimes.
Trust.
But yeah, that's the thing. My gut's telling me, I need to be getting short here. I punch out of the 326. I don't risk the high a day. That's number one issue right there. But we're like, okay, we're gonna come back down. This price action may be a little bit higher probability. I'm taking the confirmation, taking the continuation, the breakdown of the thing. Market's coming in here as well, so that's looking pretty beautiful there, giving us the slam right through VWAP. You can see I could have definitely added a little bit back through these 325s, but didn't really get involved there, and that worked out pretty nicely. Just got to trust my instincts sometimes, man. Sometimes it's just like,
there's nothing else.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's just like, I call it vibe trading. I call it, sometimes it's somewhat discretionary. But the vibes, a lot of the times, is just kind of assessing real-time probabilities of the situation and then putting risk on, right? I'm just like, I don't necessarily have the specific stats on at the back of my head. Sure, for reversions, for certain types of reversions, I do. But price action is not going to pan out the same way. So I'm like, if this kind of fits in that specific kind of scenario where I'm like, this is a reversion I'm normally taking, I'm going to give it a quick, I'm going to give it a quick 60-40. Like, is this above half? Is it like for my expected value calculation? I'm just going to be simple and be like, all right, is this more likely or less likely to happen? I'm going to just give it a 60-40, and if I think it's like a 2-to-1, 3-to-1 on a 60-40, then that's pretty good. That's pretty good in terms of from an expected value point of view there. So Google coming in with a beautiful reversion here. The reversion coming.
Reversion of the reversion?
The reversion of the reversion? I don't know just yet, Sean. But this is working out quite nicely. This is why I like to stick to this stuff and not like the Fugazi stuff like SMX, which is like,
you on that.
You know what I mean? Just it's like next level. I would say for me, it's a little bit ranked. Some would say large caps are ranked. I'd say yes and no. But yeah, in terms of speed and aggression, some of these tickers that move around like SMX. A little bit more difficult for myself to kind of trade. I'm like, all right, sometimes large caps may or may not have as much manipulation. That's a lie, but it's just in their own way, right? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just buyers and sellers, and the game is the game. And if you want to use market mechanics to kind of shake some stuff up, that's part of the game. I got to respect that as well, even if, you know what I mean, people are like, oh, that's not fair, that's not part of the rules. Guess what? You know what I realized during COVID, Sean?
You tell me.
When they were shutting things down and they were like, oh, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't operate, but we're going to let, other people kind of operate. There's a halt up there on SMX. This is what I mean. Crab City, halting up now after a halt down. So what I'm saying is like, yeah, that whole GME debacle basically taught me that, okay, well, it's roughly open range.
It's a fugazi, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you can exploit a certain market mechanic, then go for it. Like, because that at the end of the day, if that's the meta, that's the meta. Here comes a strong bid on the ES here, wiping back up 2 15-minute candles worth of price action here, coming into the first 15-minute off of the open. So interesting stuff here. Strong bid. SMX pushing up up here as well. Let's see if 325 holds a little bit. I'm going to dabble in this a little bit here, just giving it to 325s to see if Google is going to give us some continuation. VWAP is sitting at 324.60s, so maybe I don't even need to risk all the way up to 325. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Going to take that continuation to see if Google can get through its opening range lows. I'm looking at 322s. Don't know if we're going to get that far, but we're trading 323s and some change. So well within range, I would say.
Yeah, no, good job there, Obi. Great trade on Google so far, so good. I'm kind of the same way as you here, as we're just trying to hold out to see. Like I'm actually being very, very specific. I'm waiting for 216.50s again. So we just missed the reload there, but I'm going to get another piece out on the 50-period moving average as we continue to fall in just a little bit here, and we'll see if the market and or the Nasdaq wants to do a little bit of a dance. We were looking at Walmart breaking through 110. That hasn't happened. I'm going to give this one a breather because we were short already, of the market. I don't want to see this blast higher here, and then we have to wait for it. So Obi, there he is, out. Looks like out of Google right now.
Kind of missed punch, but that's fine.
Okay, we'll talk about, don't worry about it.
I missed out on 50 pennies. I punched 70s, trying to cover a little bit there. You can see I added back through the 323s. Oh my God, this is gonna go, man. This is gonna go. I punched out of everything. That's why I was just like, oh my God. And yeah, there you go. Not only did I leave 50 pennies on the table, I left another $1 on the table. So sometimes, we show up early to the club. Sometimes we show up late to the club. Sometimes we're missing out on some
at least you're part of the club.
At the club. Yeah, exactly. Listen, sometimes I'm part of the club, but at the end of the day, I'm not part of the trade. I don't care if I'm part of the club. I'm not part of the trade anymore.
Right.
Which is disappointing.
The club,
321 halves. Oh my God.
Stupid club. What's up, Los Polos Hermanos, saying there in the chat that Lisa Su is posting now. So I don't look. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I don't know what's going on with Lisa Su right here, but I am nervous, obviously, and good. Thank you for pointing that out there about AMD and it just making its move right back there to the upside as Obi gets bullish there. You need a one on each shoulder, man. A bull on one, a bear on the other.
Oh, it's that's why I'm like, the bear is doing the internal talking right now.
Okay, got
I'm just like, hey, bull, come on,
got you.
Come on, just let me know that you're not going to be involved today. Just let me know you're not going to be there.
I think he's going to be there, though. I think it depends on what stock, right?
The open. Exactly. Which stock? He's definitely involved in some of these. I think Bears and Bulls were definitely fighting on SMX today. Yeah. So that's some interesting push. But the 321s did clip. We got to 322s. That's what I was looking for. That range low right here. You can see that wick shimmy action down to 321.
He's going to break.
And then pulls right back in. So some good stuff. Great price action on the day today. I like my reversions. And I said I was watching not many stocks off of the open here, so I can show you what my I guess the equivalent of my sticky note is here. I can pull this in. So I usually have like an eight splay here of different stocks. So today I was looking at Oracle, I was looking at Alibaba, I was looking at SMX, I was looking at Tesla, Tilray, Walmart. Urban Outfitters, maybe. I think I might have typed that in a little bit later. And Google right here up in the corner two of the stocks out of the Mag 7 I was watching today, Tesla and Google. Tesla was nice as well. Google catching a bit of a bid here. But yeah, that was a strong flush. Was it capitulatory? That's what I'm asking. As of right now, wasn't quite watching that kind of looked away there. And yeah, the bull is back in action, it would seem here. So
the words like capitulatory and stuff like that doesn't happen on this show. We just use very simple words. Okay, here we go.
God.
Yeah, that
trader lingo. It's trader lingo. 37s, 40s coming in. This is going to halt up again. 42s maybe. I'm looking for 42s. Is that the answer to the universe? I don't know, but 42s potentially coming in here on SMX. Another clip of the 40 supply coming in right again at the same place. Guess what? More of the same, guys. sellers were here before.
Bye
Like sellers
bye,
are here again, but let's see. This thing is very, very choppy. So shout out to anybody who stuck with the longs. I definitely did like it, and I was like, I should be willing to buy a decent range of these prices, but didn't really, I guess, exercise on that very well. I think seeing the VWAP hold was nice, and it's funny enough, look at that. They get you out on the slam down, doesn't really trade that far away from the halt down. The halt down happens at 32.20s. We open up 32s, I think, in and around somewhere around here. Yeah,
Google,
shy of 32s. Down. And then boom, spike up to 40s. Yeah, Google, it seems like there might be some more selling continuation here.
What's up with that?
I definitely did like this short. Just got to stay involved, man. Just got to stay involved. It is what it is. Where is the next trade? That's what I'm looking for.
Long.
There's Softy through the day highs right there. 490s happening on Softy. So the bid maybe potentially coming in here on one of the top runners, sorry, top constituents there. I think Softy's like number 4 or 5, I think now. I got to check. You know what? Let me go check. Where Softy's kind of sitting at. I like to kind of look at Slick Charts, if you guys know what that website is, but they have a pretty decent up-to-date kind of breakdown of the constituents right here. So let's just quickly go here on the Spider and the Nasdaq. So right here, so Slick Charts, go there, companies for the Nasdaq 100, boom, right here. Here is the weighting. Number 3 is Softy. It goes Nvidia, Apple, Softy, Amazon, Alpha, Broadcom, Alpha C, Meta, Tesla, Netflix. Okay, cool. That's the top 10 constituents of the Nasdaq. The S&P 500, nice, thank you. All right, so the top 5 constituents of the S&P right here: Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Broadcom. Okay, so some more. What was the one that was not here on the other one? Yeah, I think I'm missing one. Berkshire in the top 10 as well. That's interesting. So
Eli Lilly maybe was there. Oh, it's there.
Lilly's number 11 on the SPY here as of right now. So okay, so 40s is trading pretty well. We're back down to 321s here. Nice continuation trade underneath VWAP. You can see 324s held. The structure held as well. This is. I'm just looking at a 1-minute chart on my main screen, but I like 3-minute charts. I like multi-time frame displays here. Here's a second green 15-minute candle on the day. So it seems like, Sean, we were starting off with a bit of a bid. Some selling coming into the open, but a strong bid pushing up into the 15-minute candle.
Good call out Los Polos Hermanos on there. Like, I don't know what was going on there, but like this absolutely ripped. So we got out at 217, as we said. So again, like 50 cents worth of a hit. Well worked out there. We'll take a slap though, as it did go against us and we had to punch out. So right there will be flat, virtually flat on the day, slightly red on AMD, but not really. So we'll just talk about that because the trade wasn't that great, right? I mean, it broke through the top there. So we should have just cleared it all out, obviously at the bottom, but without any idea of what's happening, I don't know what's happening. So, all right, yeah, you just said that whole thing about Google, and I was just like, I still like it. It had a huge move up, broke through the 200 period, a little worried about it for sure, breaking through 320. So we're gonna have to give this a little bit of a look here, maybe 319.50 or so for Google, but it's bouncing right now cleanly off 321, and that's where we're long. So we're not long at the best price. We're long at 321.50. We should probably have waited for 321 to come into play there. But again, I like the overall story here with Google. I did say earlier today, though, that I thought maybe it was a little overdone, this move to the upside. But in a shortened day here, we only actually have 8 more minutes of you and I. So this seems ridiculous that it's that short, but that's all good. You know, we were going to go over to Joe and Sharif in just a couple of seconds, but it just seems strange to that. But we're getting ready in the background there. Sia will be joining us very, very shortly with one of her segments. So that'll be really fun to see that. But 321 right now, if we break through 320, guys, then we can get out. I mean, we could even use a little bit lower than that, but here comes Google. So in a red market, Google getting hit. Pretty good to the downside. So we'll see. Yeah, so there it is. Los Polos, man, you've been hot today for sure, saying that maybe Google gets under that 320. Look, I mean, I'll sit there for a minute, but it won't be a hot one. It'll be just a couple seconds. Let's go to like 319, basically 319.50 or so. If we break below that, then I think we should stop ourselves out of Google. So that's a trade for me right now. And AMD is now below our 217 marker, but you know, that ripped up 75 cents against me there. I'm not going to hold that. So we get out immediately on that break. We actually get out 07s, which was a pretty good take there. But here we go, man. Google, let's see what happens at 320, and then we can back away from it. If it's not strong today, it's not strong today. We could deal with that. We also, maybe an IBIT dip down as well there, Obi, could be in play as we worry about potentially what IBIT wants to do from this level forward.
Yeah, I think definitely one to watch out for. And something to watch out for, I said, yeah, these oh, there's a 320 coming in right now,
yep.
John, but halted down into 35s, this SMX. So absolutely crazy. We tried to get through the highs. Guess what? No continuation. Those sellers are running, sorry, those longs are running for the door apparently and slamming it right down. 320s coming in here
Big
on
time.
Google. What a continuation,
Damn.
Sean.
Where's that short? Where's that
I know, dude. Where's my reload? I got to definitely reload here a few times. But this is what I mean. Sometimes VWAP can be such a beautiful indicator. Again, volume weighted average price. What does it indicate? It indicates where the average participants, since the anchoring of this VWAP, where they're sitting. There's the break through 320. Let's see how convincing and clean that break is. Does it look back? Does it shake it up? Or is this a potential turn? I have no idea, but the market just chopping up right there. That candle, we talked about that candle on the ES. We were like, oh, second 15 minute. Guess what? We got about 5 minutes and 30 seconds left, and that candle is testing the green to red here on the day. So 320s, let's see if this kind of catches a little bit of a push here. So I'm getting involved once again here on Google 320 bounce. Let's see if that can potentially come into fruition. But very, very aggressively heavy, has not necessarily broken the downtrend either. So I'm playing a bit of a rough counter here. I really did like the short. I got to catch myself. There are times where I miss the main trade, and then I try to take the reversion because I'm just like, well, I missed the short, so guess what? The only trade left now must be the long. That's
fucking go.
But here we go. There's 321.
Here we go.
Boom. I like it. Instantly in the money. Those are some of the best trades. Let's see if this can catch a bit of a bid and give me that continuation, but no confirmation of a trend break just yet. So I do have to be very wary of this. What's the day low? 319.83 right now. So we did pop up into 321s and then push right back down. So maybe potentially some sellers stepping right back into this. So if we're not going to go right away, I'm going to be like, all right, cool, bye-bye. I'm looking for you to go right away on especially a very, I guess, directional move to the downside. There it is.
Yeah, it's just going now. We should have shorted that top there. Oh,
yeah.
So frustrating. But all right, so I did get some out there on the way up back into three. We actually got some 321s. We were actually flat on the trade there at one point from buying these dips and then getting it out back on the upside there, but not anymore, man. We're long at 320.70s now, so we got some out at 50s and we got some out right there at 21. But yeah, catching this falling knife today might not be the right thing to do. But the reason why I'm still in this name is honestly, it's like, yeah, you know what? I was like looking at these futures and thinking that we're starting to move up over here, but definitely Google's going oppo. So there's another out for me here. Google's not participating with this market move. So I do like some of the talk that we've had here today on making sure that we trade names that are, or things that are trending the right way. And right now, Google not doing that at all, Obi. So a little bit of a problem, making me slightly nervous, obviously, about this position. All right, let's go have a quick, we'll just leave this for a second, see if it will work out for us or not. IBIT does get into that 52 area. We were looking for a 200 period move here on IBIT, but that doesn't look like for now that wants to come in. But it's holding out right here, 92,000 for IBIT. BMNR is something else to look at as well, as that's now up 7% as this name continues to climb through some highs there for BMNR. Like, talk about playing momentum. Everything had a little bit of a dip there around 9:45, but it looks like BMNR holding the day for that long. Google I should have shorted it instead of holding on to this long. Walmart right here. Okay, so we nailed that 110 area, Obi. That's the all-time high. But if anything, it was a short off of that level, not the long that I was looking for there as well. So we don't actually execute into that. So far, so good there. All right, another little bit of a bounce up. I'm going to take, I just put an offer at 50 and it turned around. So I'm trying to offer out a little bit here on Google, but it's not having too much reaction. Another 21, we got something out there at 30 again. I'm waiting at 50 to see if we can get something. But for right now, Google just not the trade. The good thing is that we're off in just 2 minutes. So hopefully this can rip up into, you know, the rest of the morning there as, yeah. Come on, Nasdaq. Like, I'm just really surprised that Google's not going. What is Nvidia doing here? Okay, so Nvidia's not doing much. Our only other trade really was this, but this is up and down. Like, this is basically just a shot in the dark there of the short, which really paid. That was really a great short. Okay, there goes Google. Google just made another leg down, so it's gonna break this 319.50 like right now. There's no love for this name today. There it goes. Google all the way to the downside here as the futures may finally be breaking, and it's gonna take Google with them. Google now below that 320, and we sort of sniffed out that short. We're able to get out of it, but we have to put a fail on that one as well because that's flushing lower. You know, like if I was winning this one, then we'd be much happier with the performance today, but no. Long on Google, lot working, short on AMD, not really working either. So 0 for 2 on those two big mega cap names here today. Maybe AMD joins the club and gets short, but it's Google right now that's bleeding through 320.
Yeah, 320, that definitely cracked up a little bit there. So I was trying to get involved in that consolidation, kind of sized down, and I'm like, all right, well, if we're going to chop around, let me give it a little bit of a wider stance here. And yeah, that 320 cracks pretty aggressively as of right now. So yeah, market tailwind, yeah, a little bit of a green to red move on that candle, and we're getting slammed into the bid, guys. That 320.90, so at 319.90s got slammed in, and we're trading at the whole dollar already. So
oh, you're long too, Google?
I did try the 320s, but again, a little bit lighter than before. Not really working out right now. So yeah, not the best. Like I said, sometimes I'm like, oh, I missed the move. The only thing I can do is long, and I'm definitely wrong on that one as it potentially comes in even lower. Oh my God!
There it goes.
So,
and why not just go short
on Google? Right.
I don't know why I'm not short that name, dude. Honestly, that is just an absolute disaster right there. We should be short on Google, and we're not. So I'm going to actually, I'll try to look to go short here on AMD because we still do like this name here, especially if it's going to fill back to the end of this trade. So we'll watch out. There it is. So now, finally, okay, making a little bit back here on this short. Let's bid something out at 216 and see if we can make our way southbound here on AMD. But yeah, good day for Meta, nice upside. Okay, you may see here in the background, that's it for OBNI for right now. So OBNI are gone until noon, so the show's about to get a lot better. We have Joe, we've got Sharif. We want to thank everybody for watching. Sia, we're very proud of you. Thank you for joining the team here at Trader TV Live. Guys, give her a lot of support. Not that she needs it. She's a professional. Wait till you see her. We're very, very happy and very pleased to have her join part of our team. So thank you, Sia. Best of luck here. And if you need any help, just throw it to Joe and Sharif, of course. But you're not going to need anything.
Yes.
Thank you for everybody. Obi.
Yes, sir.
Me and you back at noon. All right, here we go. Sia, it's segment time. Ciao for now.
See ya.
Thank you so much, Sean. Let's talk about today. In a holiday shortened trading session, stocks are extending gains after the open. The Nasdaq is potentially going to snap a 7-month winning streak today unless we get, a 2.5% rally. Let's go into stories for today. Household name for flash memory products, SanDisk has entered the S&P 500 effective today. A whopping 512% climb in gains can definitely be credited to the company's investor enthusiasm and a strong growth of strategy for the future. The CME also hit a pause today in futures trading earlier due to a data cooling center issue. Futures were back up and running by 8:30 this morning, and both stock futures and options are now fully reopened. Also, a quick reminder that the Fed's balance sheet data will be dropping at 4:30 p.m. today, so watch out for that. The Canadian GDP came out earlier this morning at 8:30 for the third quarter, and I must say the economy is up 2.6%, definitely exceeding the analysts' expectations. According to CNN's Fear and Greed Index as well, an extreme fear is driving the market after its previous close. Even though the consumer confidence is shaky at the moment, National Retail Federation is projecting a potential sales of over $1 trillion, first time ever. So if today's session is negative, which seems highly unlikely, the 7-month winning streak for Nasdaq will potentially come to an end. Tech stocks, as you know them, have been in a pullback, but there's still hope, according to some investors, and for a year-end rally for potential major averages. And thank you so much for joining in today. I hope this short session is fruitful for you. Throwing it to the guys.